Stuart Wen, Sean Ryan and Troy Pennell. We are underway here with Simmons in the ruck, against him Seavey, and a free kick already.
For jumping early.
Supposed to take away. Waters to Selwood. Sends a high bomb. Polak starting in defence for the Tigers today. Looks like they're going to give him a key defensive post. Handball off to Jones. The quick snap away, and the opener for the West Coast. It took less than a minute.
Well, we talked about a good start, Lynchy, and I'll tell you what, you don't want your players, it's great to be excited about the start of the game, but you don't want to be giving away a free kick in the first centre bounce against the reigning premier. There he is in and under again, Daniel Kerr, chain of handballs. Exactly the start West Coast would have wanted, but by the same token, not the start that Richmond would have desired.
Rowan Jones has been in good touch, and that's the way you want to start. Just get that first touch and convert.
First goal to Rowan Jones. He's been so good for so long, Rowan Jones. It's hard to believe he's played 140 games with just the one Brownlow vote, which he was able to sneak last year. Another takeaway. Judd. Seavey. Wide kick. Wirrapunda in good form up forward.
He kicked 2 early goals last week in trying conditions. He's just such a versatile player. Obviously, he's played most of his early football down back and been one of the premier back pockets in the competition over a number of years, but his electrifying skills and obviously speed on the lead in this instance has got him another shot on goal.
Their leading goal scorer this year. He's kicked 8-5 from just inside the 50. It's a wobbler across the face, and it fails to score. Out of bounds on the full. Good crowd in, not a full house, but given that there's only one local team playing, good crowd nonetheless. And the West Coast Eagles have got a lot of support here as Gasper sends it long and high. Big pack, Hanson, the fist down to Selwood. Rosa, chip around the body. Tigers getting numbers back. Foley. Now Newman, who's been in very good form as well, wide. The mark taken by Hughes is Cleve Hughes.
He's got some pace, Dwayne. Cleve Hughes, that's his go, getting it on the lead up.
And it's his first game of the season. Cleve Hughes to Foley, and then back to Kane Johnson, who's playing with that broken knuckle in his hand. So Hyde has a chance to poke it inside 50. The lead comes. Schultz took a player down. Ball still alive. Braun caught in the tackle. Little push by Tuck. Umpire allows play to continue. And now he finds a free in favour of the West Coast, and it will go to Staker. And
that's disappointing. They worked the ball out of defence very well, and just a turnover with a free kick inside their forward 50 is just disappointing for the Tigers.
Wirrapunda pokes it over the top, hoping for Embley with memories here. Last time here won the Norm Smith medal. Did Andrew Embley. Heads to Hanson. He's thrust over the boundary line. Free kick for a push. It'll go to Hanson. Rowan Smith.
Early, Judd versus Deludio, Kerr versus Foley, Richo versus Glass, and Cleve Hughes playing centre-half forward for Richmond.
Thanks for that, Rowan. Polak, as we said, playing key post back. They want to allow him to settle at centre-half back, and he started well today. Simmons had started well until that fumble. Foley. Lynch came at him, and now Jackson, who's got a tagging role on Braun today. Daniel Jackson, and it's almost the last chance season for him, Daniel Jackson. It's his first game of the year, but it's his 4th season overall. To half forward, Hughes not paid the mark. Tiger fans not happy. Judd, long, Wirrapunda has some space, strolls in, and off 2 steps, sends it home.
That's a prime example of where turnovers absolutely kill teams. Whether it's a free kick or it was a kicking error on this instance, just Gasper's kick to centre-half forward just sat his player under the ball, and Glass a good spoil, and Wirrapunda obviously hadn't chased his opponent down the ground. Easy mark and easy goal. So disappointing from Richmond. They've got to be better inside their forward 50.
Ninth goal of the season, first goal of the afternoon for David Wirrapunda. Back home, of course, the Victorian raised at Shepparton in the Healesville. From the ball up, Delidio got the quick handball out to Tuck. His kick fumbled by Waters. Kerr dumped. He left it behind, so he didn't have it. Umpire allowed play on. Foley around the body, and Tambling.
Yeah, he needs to settle here, Richard Tambling. Just take your time. He's going to kick it right on his range. He can kick it from 50 here.
They've invested a lot in Richard Tambling. Pick 4 back in the 2004 draft. Took him ahead of Buddy Franklin. And Tambling has poked it through. It wobbled, it drifted, but it's there.
Well, it was right on his distance. It wasn't wrong there. It just got there. It didn't look like at times it was going to sneak in, but it's good play. It's important they win the clearances like that. Uncharacteristic by the West Coast. A couple of fumbles, and they need to hit up their targets. And in the end, it was probably a good spot up there, and he was in front of his opponent. And all good forwards need to be in front of their opponent for those errant kicks that come into the forward line. And when you're only getting a number of opportunities, a limited number in the forward line, is a good way to finish by Richard Tambling.
Fourth goal of the season for Richard Tambling. As we mentioned, pick 4 in 2004. That draft order: Deledio, Roughhead, Griffin, then Tambling, and then pick 5, Lance Franklin for Hawthorn. Came from the Territory, and they're hoping this might be his year. From the ball up, the Tigers are on the board. Seavey to Judd. Selwood. Kerr. So both the superstars getting a touch in this string to Wembley. Set up nicely for the long kick to the square. He goes wide, and the fist from Pollack good on Cox, who's started in the forward pocket.
Yeah, they've gone with Seavey in the ruck at the start of the game, and perhaps trying to stretch Richmond a little bit. I'm not sure that was a good decision to kick it there. There's not a lot of percentage there, even if you haven't got a tall bit of height on your opponent.
Simmons, Cox and Pollack all went for the ruck contest. Huck, boundary line was the sanctuary for him, but instead of taking it out, tried to get a stat, and it's out of bounds on the full.
Just a lack of experience there. She just fumbled it over the line. But there's one man that you don't want the ball in the hand from the boundary line. You probably couldn't see any space in between the goalposts, but he'll give it the best chance possible.
Judd. Off hands. Hanson. That's a win for them.
Well, it was a win after the result of Tuck's kick anyway.
Long kick to Tuck. See if he does better with this one. Nice one. Pettifer. Run to the outer side wing here at the MCG. Long kick. Jackson's up forward and flies. Front spot. Schultz.
Great mark.
Jackson nearly plucked it out of his hands. Schultz so strong.
That's a very important mark. Matthew Richardson's playing up the ground on Adam Hunter, so there'll be a lot asked of Schultz. And just to come back with a fly to the ball, looked like he was going to get crunched by his teammate, but that's strong hands. And he needs a big game, and he must go back and convert this. So Tambling took his opportunity. There probably won't be an enormous amount of inside 50s for Richmond for the day. Must make the most.
Just turned 22, Jay Schultz. He's kicked 9-6 this year, and he's now kicked 9-7.
It was actually a lovely kick by Pettifer. He bounced the ball, and Schultz had already led. He, in the end, kicked the ball to where he wanted Schultz to go. And it was a lovely mark, and that is a contested mark. They need to use Schultz a lot more, Richmond. It's good to see Richardson out at centre-half forward too.
Yeah, he's working hard. Hunter's just working him over, keeping Richo out of the contest.
Staker to Selwood to Waters. And now to Cox. They've messed it up. Hughes. Johnson. Caught by 2. Pettifer. Boundary line. That's a win for Richmond. Rowan Smith.
It's interesting to see that Terry Wallace has given his young guns some responsibility today. So Schultz is playing at full forward. Cleve Hughes centre forward. Pollack down back. And Deledio in the ruck rover.
And we expect Matthew Richardson to take a bit of the ruck this afternoon. And he just took that knock there on the forward line. Kerr got the handball out to Wembley. But Richardson might follow Cox around this afternoon when Cox is in the ruck. We'll watch that one with interest, because if the ball doesn't come down, you're better off getting Richo where the ball is.
Richo's into the ruck now on Cox. Simmons is pushed to full forward.
And Richo rips it out of the air. Handball straight to Stengline. Hanson. Bowden gets back, and Joel Bowden takes the mark.
This is where Richo's got to hurt them on the rebound.
Drew the man. Handball to Gasper.
Wish plays out here on the wing.
Handball to Joel Bowden. Hasn't got his brother to kick to, Patrick, this afternoon, so has to go to Newman. Runs the wing. Gee, Lynch chases him hard and chases him well. Puts the kick off. It's a tough one. Deledio, Tambling. Spears the kick toward goal. That is brilliant. That's the real Richard Tambling. He's got two.
How good was that, Tambling? And that's what you want to see with young, talented players with speed. Back yourself and run, and just the great ability to know, the sense to know where the goals were, and under enormous amount of pressure, and almost a smother as well. But that's a great shot on goal. Must make the most opportunities, and Richard Tambling certainly did on that occasion, and he's got a very good start under his belt.
Two goals for Richard Tambling. The reason Richmond took him so high in the draft is because he was rated better than Michael Long as far as all the players that have grown up in the territory are concerned. But he played with Southern Districts, who were a bottom team. He dominated for them. But it was hard to gauge his form in that bottom team. Stenglein kicks to half forward. Seavey flies. Rains. Good. They're inspired at the moment, Richmond. Well, they were. Rosa stole it back to Judd. Loops it wide. Embley. Long shot at goal. Wirapunda waits under it. Can't get there. Hanson as well. And it's a behind.
I like what Richmond are doing with Richardson, playing him high on the half-forward line, pushing him through the midfield. We saw him there, got involved in that last goal, a couple of passages of play. He's got the endurance, Matthew Richardson, to be able to really worry the West Coast Eagles. Plays as like a second ruckman, if you like, but he's playing a long way up the ground, preferring to use Schultz as the deeper player. And they've also got Delidio down there as well.
Polak. Tuck. Held up. Handball is good to Tambling. He's having an influence. Rains wide. Now Joel Bowden. Spears it towards Schultz. Gets there.
Great run from Bowden and use of the ball. He's one of the better passes of the ball by foot on the Richmond list, and that was a beautiful pass. Schultz has got his confidence up. Always a tough one to go down when there's a opposition opponent going to hit you from in front, as Chick was going to then, but a very good mark low down.
Now he is a beautiful kick, Joe Schultz. We know he missed the last one, kicked it like a bucket of wheat, or a bag of wheat I should say.
Either.
Or a bucket.
Bucket wouldn't come off too well either, I wouldn't have thought.
I'm pretty confident he might really nail this.
Kicked 2-2 last week. Sprays it.
Oh, please.
Well, he's playing where Richo normally plays, and he's kicking like Richo normally kicks. Two behinds.
He normally is a good kick.
Yeah, he is. He's kicked 9-6, as I said, this season coming into today's game. So, unfortunately for him, they could have the lead at the moment, the Tigers. Kick towards the wing, off hands. Braun.
Good work.
A big clash. Kerr and Polak. Good commitment from both players. Judd. It's game on at the moment. Hearn. Started on the bench for the Eagles. Toward Hanson. Jones got in front. Wirapunda pokes it around the body to Armstrong. Takes the mark. We know he can kick a goal here at the G. In fact, on his grave they should just write the words, kick that goal. Because that's the thing he'll be remembered for. The grand final goal here, September last year. Rookie listed by the West Coast after being dumped by Melbourne. Brings it back and can't add to the fairy tale. It's a behind. But they're in front.
Having a look at this bit of play there, he really needed to protect young Jones then, Rowan Jones, Hanson. You just can't, you've got to call a player with the ball, you've got to be his eyes.
Tuck long. Not an easy make taken by Hunter. Cox. Kerr. Corralled by Pettifer, forced to go back to Hunter. Back to Cox. It's Ringa Rosie. Now the long kick. Hanson. But his arm slapped. Umpire said it was okay. Cleve Hughes, McGuan, Joel Bowden, Johnson.
Here he is.
Now Richard. And Matthew Richardson on the ball and doing well.
Got to get up quick and give the hands off outside.
They're looking to get into the corridor all the time here, Richmond. Probably not a bad move either. I'm sure you can play a wide game of footy against the West Coast. Their skill level is so good, West Coast, they'll kill you on the turnaround. But if they can get it into the corridor, it gives you half a chance to get it into a good area to attack.
Bowden to Newman.
Long up to here.
Kick.
Long kick to Schultz. He's got it, and he'll have another opportunity from this pocket. Well, at least he's had a sighter.
He's had a couple of siders, and I know from a full forward point of view, it wasn't a great kick myself. You get a couple of your kicks off the shin to start with. There's not a lot of confidence going in here. There's all he's thinking now is, hope I don't miss this. But he's got to go through his routine, something he's confident in, and kick through the ball, very important. And as you notice then, he's really stabbed at it, just poked at the ball, and that tends to happen when your pressure's on, you're nervous, and you just stab it, try to steer it through. You must kick through the ball.
So 3 behinds for Jay Schultz. They should be in front, the Tigers. Winless, bottom of the ladder, the Tigers up against the undefeated reigning premiers, the West Coast, but fighting well early, Cox. Richo playing off him. All the way back to Staker.
That's
long
a very
kick.
ordinary kick.
It's a 3-on-1. Tigers with the 3, of course. Euban, Joel Bowden. Now Hyde. Takes them on. Chippendale almost ran into his way. Tambling. He can go long if he wants to. Through the player. Chippendale fumbles. He'll get a ball in.
A bit disappointing there. Tambling backed himself. Rather than having to give off the handball, probably would have been better if he was shepherded, given some support, take a bounce and break the forward 50 line. Daniel
Kerr having a spell for the Eagles. Cox doing the right work down towards Judd. Free kick. Judd was held by Johnson. Chris Judd is averaging 29 possessions a game again this year. Rowan Jones. And now Wirrapunda. Spoiled at the last second by McGuan. Didn't hold it long enough. Ball in.
Kay Johnson, the big job on Chris Judd this afternoon.
He's not going to be getting it a lot, given he's got that broken bone in his hand, so he might as well be chasing and harassing and annoying.
He plays that role well too, Kay Johnson.
Deledio got it from Hyde, gives it towards Tuck, can't mark it. Chippendale tries to make amends, almost to Deledio, now to Tambling, caught by Judd, he knew he was going to collect it. Pettifer, how will this bounce? Timely for Hearn. Selwood, Prittis, who started on the bench and now on. Brett Jones in game 50. Braun, back to Jones. Nice movement. Kick not good though for Hansen and McGuan. Not a big marker of the ball, normally a spoiler.
Richo was free.
Kick was terrible. Hughes fights on to get it. Rains, Tuck. Chippendale almost within range here. Pokes the pass and Tambling can't get there. Goes back to get it. Bumped solidly and high according to the umpire. Free kick, Richard Tambling.
Interesting to see the replay there. And it looks like the book is out for a high contact. Yeah. I mean, obviously, the AFL and the umpires are cracking down on head-high contact. Didn't look, without seeing the replay, didn't look to be a lot in that. Tambling's turned his body, tried to protect himself, and has caught one high, but you wouldn't think Tyson Stenglein would be an enormous amount of trouble there. He hasn't hit hard. In fact, he's almost slowed up.
In fact, he actually stopped.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know what the umpires are trying to do, but that's not reportable.
He's got 2, Tambling. Make that 3. This could be the coming of age for Richard Tambling.
Very important for someone who plays in the forward pocket, those small coming forwards. You don't get a lot of opportunities because most of the time the ball's not directed to you. But in this instance, just a bit of a poor kick. Now Tambling, as we talked through, just tries to turn his body to get around Stenglein and has copped him high. Stenglein has pulled up, and I'm sure that won't go any further. But when you get your chances, and Tambling has, he's made the most of them. 3 goals, great start.
Well, Richard Tambling has 3 goals. Richmond now have a 6-point lead. And Tyson Stenglein's name is in the book. Prittis from the ball up, got the takeaway. Hansen comes hard, towed it to Rains, caught in a double maul tackle by Hansen and Embley. Going nowhere, ball up.
The style Richmond are employing is a lot of short kicking and a lot of kicking to uncontested players. 29 marks to Richmond, 11 to West Coast Eagles. They're prepared to hit up targets at the moment. Richmond, they're doing it well.
Cox and Simmons tied up. Brains. Foley. Straight down the corridor. Tuck just pulled up at the moment of at the moment of the mark, the moment of taken, was the wrong option. And the ball was Selwood, pushing the back. Free kick. Handball wide to Newman. And now Schultz. Straight through him. Hunter. Little 1-2 with Jones.
Urapunda free.
Now Hearn to Urapunda. Hanson on the move. Good mark.
Just holding there against young McGuan, giving away size or in height, weight and experience, but he's been very good. Hanson only the one mark or one kick so far.
Really working hard, Richmond, to push numbers back into the forward line of the West Coast.
Rosa, long and high. Big fly by Polak, couldn't bring the mark down. Rains the crumb. Newman. McGuan. And good mark.
Well, geez, he's come on a long way, playing a key post, but not a lot over 6 foot tall, or 6'2".
From Broadbeach, of course, Queensland, your territory, Alistair.
Yeah, it wasn't. I haven't got the fondest memories from Broadbeach. Played my first practice game for the then Brisbane Bears and broke my collarbone and put myself out for 10 weeks. So it wasn't a great introduction to Queensland at Broadbeach.
There was a word that McGuan doesn't attempt a lot of marks because he breaks his own nose. He doesn't take them all that well, but he's taken some good ones so far today. Critis, Brett Jones, and now Embley.
Yeah, numbers back, Richmond.
And Newman takes the mark. Rains. Couple of handball options. Foley. Joel Bowden. Simmons. Leads come. Richo in a one-on-one. He's got it. Plays on. Tamlin's got 4.
Tamlin again in the right position. Richo's taken a mark 20 metres out and given it off. Probably not confident.
When you got the yips, it's not a bad thing to do. I love the way they're taking them on at the moment, Lynchy. This is fantastic play. Again through the corridor, and again they're prepared to take them on. Not sure that's a great option to play on from there, but Richard Tamlin's red hot. He's already had Daniel Chick moved off him. He's got a new opponent in Shannon Hearn. He's in very good form at the moment.
Four goals for Richard Tambling, and now Shannon Hearn given the job. Rowan Smith on the boundary.
The reason why Richmond are in front is their run from defence. They've been so creative and they're being used, so the West Coast Eagles forwards have to man up.
Cox caught high. Free handball to Pritis. Long bomb. Urapunda from 4 deep. Front spot Newman. The third one of those is taken in defence in the hole. Rains. Tough one for Simmons. Made the commitment. Gathered his own crumb. Deledio. Picked off by Urapunda. Good tackle on the rebound though. Holding the ball. No, pushing the back.
Pushing the back. Probably was incorrect disposal. That was missed by the umpire. Bad luck for the Richmond team.
Urapunda to Lynch.
We'll give this a ride.
He's got to load up to the goal square. It is long. It is very long. To the square. Not quite though. And Polak got a hand in the way. Stops Seavey from taking the mark, but he gathers the crumb. Hands up. Polak. The defensive goal square. Rains. Chips it wide. Hoping for and finding King. Sucked up against the boundary. And Jake King pushed out a play. They've got to push in the back.
And as Rowan said, the run out of defence for the Tigers has been very good. It's one thing to push numbers back, but they're prepared to back themselves, run and carry the ball and give options forward.
Kerr. Almost a throw to Judd. Not Judd like that kick. It shows how much pressure the West Coast are under. They're not quite used to this amount of pressure. Critis tackled by Tivendale. Ball up.
At times it can be a subconscious thing. You come to the ground, you're certainly intent on going hard, but you come up against the Tigers, everyone's saying West Coast are going to win easy. But this team is playing well today. The intensity, passion at the ball is fantastic for the Tigers.
And the ball up. Kerr wrapped up by Foley. Tivendale stole it. Pettifer tries to hack it out of the area. Daniel Jackson first there with the chase. To his own advantage. Good battle with Hunter. And the umpire's given it Hunter a free. Played onto advantage and he broke clear of Jackson with ease. The 1-2 is Selwood, and now it's going to come back, is it?
The free kick at centre half forward. There was a knee Free kick against, I think it's
Joel
Bowden on Kerr.
Is he reported?
Well, there hasn't been anything going in the book as yet, but the umpire was signalling he's dropped the knee into Kerr, and that's what the free kick was played for.
Okay.
So we may see it here. I don't know whether that was it.
Kerr from 50. Misses.
Got very close to the man on the mark then, Daniel Kerr.
Like Judd, averaging 29 possessions a game this year. They both had, coming into today, 116 possessions in total. Joel Bowden. Polak.
34 marks to Richmond, 13 to West Coast, 4 contested marks to Richmond, none to West Coast.
And inside 50s at 10 to Richmond, 14 to West Coast. They're making the most of opportunities, as we've said, especially Tambling.
Short pass, and this is Shane Edwards. Made his debut last week for the Tigers. McGuan. Tough for Simmons. Cox, Simmons, Cox, Gasper, Jard. So the star with the long handball. Seaby, Jones. Over the top to Embley. He can have the shot from 35. And he misses. They are under pressure, the West Coast. 10 points the margin.
This is just pressure of Chris Judd that Darren Gasper fumbled then. It's just the awareness of having, you're going to get wrapped up by Chris Judd, and Gasper, an experienced player, still felt the pressure and fumbled.
Newman found Joel Bowden inside 2 minutes to quarter time. Tivendale.
And that is the case with a lot of good teams, good players. That perceived pressure, you feel they're around, and you rush things, and their turnovers certainly do hurt.
Matthew Richardson all the way up to half-back.
He's worn out, Big Richo. He's been covering a fair bit of territory, pushing right up the field, playing on ball position for most of this quarter.
Shortish pass, and it's Oakley-Nichols. Late inclusion for Cracker. Andrew Cracker dropped. Jared Oakley-Nichols brought in at the last minute. Joel Bowden long. And a strong mark taken by Polak, who drifted down to half forward. Now the leads come. Daniel Jackson gets there. And a chance to extend the lead in the shadows of quarter time.
I think they were going to actually hold on to the ball. It just looked like they were just going to spot it up. Right, let's go into quarter time. Let's reset. But then they got the ball to Joel Bowden, and they got it back into the corridor again, and all of a sudden the ball's out in the centre wing, and Jackson's on a lead, and they can get a shot at goal. So this will, I would say, Richmond will be trying to make this the last passage of play in the quarter, but I reckon there'll be enough time for the West Coast to get a little sneaky clearance here before quarter time.
4 career goals, but this is his first game for 2007, so no goals so far this year. And that's a spear. They lead by 16 points.
The transition out of defence again for Richmond was very good. They were held up on the far wing, managed to switch it across. Bowden, who uses his delivery so well, had the mismatch of Polak on Armstrong, and Polak was good enough to deliver the ball. And that's very good work for Richmond. They're running hard, backing themselves. The young players are standing up with some good support from their older counterparts.
Fourth season for Daniel Jackson, just game number 22. Played 6 games back in 2004, 10 games in 05, just 5 games last year. And he's playing for his life this season. Prittis, Seaby, Rosa. High bomb. Cox is down there at full forward. 2 Tigers front spot. Richardson and Polak. Ball still in dispute. 13 seconds left, and it's a West Coast free.
Terry Walsh will be absolutely filthy in the box at the moment, just to give away those sort of free kicks at this stage of the quarter. As Liam said, Richmond would have been very happy to shut the quarter down. Just cardinal sin. I mean, a good tackle, good pressure. Bowden's been one of the better players for Richmond, but just was well tackled, incorrect disposal then.
Rowan Jones has one. This after the quarter time siren, but he can't bring it back to 10 points. He has missed. And that tells the tale of the West Coast Eagles' first term. Teams can win quarters against the West Coast Eagles, but they very, very rarely win games against them. Big task for Richmond still ahead, but they have done their first term's work impeccably. Richmond at quarter time, 5-3-33. The West Coast Eagles, 2-6-18.
They're racing. Get this great ringtone. SMS go to 19488. Get this great ringtone. SMS go to 19488.
Get mobile active.
I've travelled the world, but nowhere feels more like home than Dunsborough. You've got the ultimate open plan lounge, which leads to a well-equipped games room. Beyond that is the outdoor entertaining area. You've also got the luxury of a spacious cellar, plus a walk-in pantry. What more could you possibly want? So why not open the door to a richer life here at Dunsborough Lakes? A new release of premium lofts is now available, but hurry, it won't last long.
So where did you used to teach?
I used to teach at Collingwood Primary.
Oh, I used to play footy for them when I was a kid.
So you played for Collingwood then?
Hey, I never knew that. Hey, Edward, my dad used to play for Collingwood, see?
Now you can really be part of the action with sport exclusively online and on your Telstra mobile. Enjoy live AFL scores and stats, match replays, highlights and more, all on Big Pond Sport.
The Investec Super 14 this Saturday on Fox Sports. At 7, Brumbies Crusaders. Will the Canberra faithful bid farewell to 3 of their champions by claiming Super Rugby's greatest scalp?
Try to the Brumbies!
At 11, the Lions had better hope they can swim when they dive into Durban's Shark Tank. Sunday morning at 1, the In-Tune Reds out to muscle up and take down the Stormers. Saturday night, Brumbies Crusaders at 7, Sharks Lions at 11, then Stormers Reds.
This May, we dug up some comedy gold.
God help us.
Those bad-mannered boys are back with a new series of South Park.
Bite-sized Snickers. That's it. I'm calling Child Protective Services.
We go behind the scenes of some of Canada's greatest comic talents in comedy gold.
Someday I'm going to be on that show.
Now's the time our sprockets made me does.
They're 3 men who have no jobs, no prospects, but dress really well in comedy's new series, Stella.
You guys don't shut up about the boogie boarding. I'm going to drive this truck off a cliff. Do it. I will.
I don't like boogie boarding.
Our Monday night specials continue with the best bits of stand-up Australia.
Keep it above the belt from now on, okay, Chip?
Plus brand new episodes of Saturday Night Live.
You married a black woman. Moving up. But in the past, you dated white women. Still moving up.
That's all in May on
The Cricket World Cup Final tonight at 11 live on Fox Sports 3. The all-conquering Aussies want a hat-trick of World Cups when they take on Sri Lanka in Barbados. Australia, Sri Lanka tonight at 11 live on Fox Sports 3.
Top of the ladder, undefeated West Coast Eagles against the bottom of the ladder, yet to have a win, Richmond. And the Tigers, with the opening terms work, a 15-point lead, 5-3-33 to 2-6-18. Tambling, Richard Tambling, 4 goals in the opening term. Jones and Wirapunda, the only goal scorers for the West Coast. Down on the boundary line, Rowan Smith.
Well, David, you have to be happy with that quarter.
Yeah, thrilled with that. Look, we know we can play good football when we're being at the MCG, mate. We have over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and we're excited about the position we're in now. I mean,
some of our players have been very, very exciting. Some of our run and carry, our backline's ability to turn the ball around and get it going our way has been brilliant, mate.
You are the backline coach. You've been happy with their run?
Oh, I'm happy with their run, and just to see Graham Polak go down there and mark it the way he has, and Chris Newman on the fly out of there. But look, they're a very good side, this mob. We'll keep our eye on them this quarter, Smithy.
Good luck in the second quarter.
Grant Smith with an AFL coach of the future, David King. There's no doubt about that.
Knows his stuff, David King. Where they've been so impressive, and he mentioned it was the run and carry from half back, Richmond. You look at the players, Bowden's had it 11 times, Range has had it 8, Newman's had it 8. So their running players literally have been fantastic, but also been really impressed with the first quarter effort of Troy Simmons in the ruck, his ability to push back, and also Graham Polak, who David King mentioned as well.
Yeah, exactly. They've been very good. Schultz has been leading hard at the ball, missed 2 easy shots on goal. He could have had a fantastic first quarter. Tamwin's been sensational touch, so the Tigers are very much in this.
15-point lead to the Tigers as we start this second term. Judd, bottom of the pack. Ball comes out eventually, although it's not going too far. The umpire will have a secondary ball up.
Another signal of how Richmond are going so well running the ball out of defence. They've been smashing the clearances. West Coast Eagles 11 clearances to Richmond 4. Inside 50s 16 to 11 in favour of the Eagles as well.
Much more efficient setup at the moment, Richmond. A more efficient forward line setup and more run at the moment. Just certainly more run around the ground.
And coaches, look, they talk about contested possession, but the uncontested is important too. The handball receives, the ability to run and carry and give the ball off to a teammate is very important.
Tuck, third man up and knocked down to Kerr. Tackled by Tivendale and another ball up. So Tivendale right with Kerr the whole time, and Kane Johnson with Chris Judd. We've seen both players get it from these ball ups a couple of times to start this second term, but can't break free. Cox and Simmons to Rosa. He's tied up. And we've had 4 ball ups and the ball's still inside the centre circle. We'll get another one.
This suits Richmond. 7-1 out of the centre square in the first quarter in favour of West Coast. So although Richmond have been terrific around the ground, they still need to get a bit more, well, they need to get a bit more hands on the ball in the centre square, that's for sure.
Embley, third man up, but knocked it to Pettifer. Sends it inside 50. Hughes from behind takes the mark. Cleve Hughes, first game for the year.
Very good mark. Just had a few metres on the pack, so had a little jump at it and got a good reach, 2 grabs, and to get a mark in the pack situation in front of goal is a great strength to any young player.
Well, there's an All-Australian under-18 centre-half forward, Cleve Hughes, from the Adelaide Hills, from a place called Birdwood, which has given the AFL some good players over the years, probably the best of them, Scotty Burns at Collingwood. And he starts this left, brings it back, and the Tigers have the opening goal of the second term.
I really like their forward set up with Matty Richardson playing further up the ground. They've actually put a bit more responsibility on the shoulders of young Hughes and also Jay Schultz. Tamlin, we know, had a wonderful first quarter. I reckon that's about the time what Richmond need to be starting to do that, is just starting to use some of these younger players a bit more. Richardson's been a superstar for over the last 10, 12 years, but they need to find some players like these young players like Cleve Hughes.
Just his 4th game of AFL football, Cleve Hughes, 3 games last year. And Jack Revolt, the cousin of great Mick Revolt, was one of the players the Tigers thought about bringing in this afternoon. They brought Cleve Hughes in instead. Jack Revolt will have to wait a little while to make his debut for the Tigers. Wirapunda, Gasper, and a wide ball, and another player who's only young in his career, Shane Edwards, takes the ball out of play. Another South Australian, Shane Edwards. His father actually kicked 104 goals for Central Districts in the SANFL back in the 80s, so he's come from good football stock. From the ball in, Jones, Armstrong, now Staker, short pass to Hanson. He can line up from the pocket.
Once again, Richmond, or West Coast I should say, all over the stoppage. They were just so good at quick hands out the back. It was a good decision in the end by Staker not to blaze away. Richmond actually loaded the numbers up then because it was inside 50 for the West Coast, just to try and block it up, because they'd be aware that they're getting smacked around the centre clearances and around the stoppages.
According to the commentary cliche book, it's now we go for, they need this. They desperately did. And he was able to slot it, Ashley Hansen.
Yeah, good goal, good pass. Hansen was running into some form. And as you said, Liam, just the weight of numbers. If you're going to continue to get smashed in the clearances, just the weight of numbers forward will take its toll and you'll get run over in the end. So important for the match committee of the Richmond Football Club to address this situation and just try to block up the Eagles.
First goal of the afternoon for Ashley Hansen. He's kicked 6-1 this year, so he's been very accurate, and that kick is exactly what the West Coast needed to build a little bit of confidence from the ball up. No one breaking free. Another ball up.
And interestingly, see Chris Judd on screen now. He's just going head-to-head with Delevio at the ball-ups, and then Kane Johnson comes in and takes him for more run-with-roll.
Perfect palm down to Daniel Kerr, but it was almost held before he even took possession. It was going nowhere. Another ball up. Kerr almost held at the moment by Tivendale. And Judd virtually held by Kane Johnson. From the ball up, palm down to Embley. Umpires found something. It's a West Coast Eagles free.
Yeah, holding off the ball, and we'll go in favour of Kerr.
As I said, Tivendale had him before the ball up.
We've got a pretty open forward line here, West Coast.
Surely you can't do that. From the kick, inside 50. Tigers getting numbers back. Rosa couldn't get the handball out. Ledio gets the kick out to the wing. Brett Jones spears the pass. Pocket Rosa. Centering ball. In fact, he's gone the whole way and missed to the near side. He had a look inside, which gave me the indication he was going to centre it, but didn't see anything on, obviously. Joel Bowden held up by Wirapunda. Reigns. Dangerous, but okay. King.
Working hard forward to the ball, the Tigers. Plenty of options.
And now Reigns again.
Well, they've been happy to do this all day, just to chip it around, except they've been playing on. That was the winning move in the first quarter, was their ability to get back and play on as soon as they actually take the mark. And they're dominating. 50 marks to 15 is an unbelievable statistic.
No one's manning up on them at the moment, so they've got the free men. King again.
It's a smart play.
I think that was Oakley Nichols with the short pass to Pettifer.
Once again, encouraging signs because there's lots of movement forward in the Richmond forward 50.
Kane Johnson is hoping for Richo. Can't get a fly at it. Just bumped last second by Hunter. Schultz comes hard. Almost a throw to Tivendale. Was a throw.
Yeah, unfortunate. Ball was just jarred out of his hands and popped up. Always going to be a throw.
Selwood to Rosa. Kerr. Back to Rosa. Caught. Dispossessed by Tivendale. Crowd want a free. Kerr gets the kick away to Armstrong. Umpire allows play on. Stengline. The lead's come. It's a long ball. Chicks on the move and can't complete it. Joel Bowden. Handball straight to Judd. Worst of all possible options. From the pocket. Misses.
Daniel Chicks come on the ground and he is basically running with Joel Bowden. Bowden's had a lot of the ball, 13 possessions early in the second quarter. Just either got to use his opponent, which was Rowan Jones, early, but now Chicks obviously going to run with him, try to cut out his run and forward drive.
Matthew Richardson.
I hate to tell the Tigers fans, but it's 12-4, free kicks in favour of West Coast at the moment.
Well, they know.
They know.
Tuck.
They're quite vocal, the Tiger fans, aren't they?
Oh, they're passionate. It's good. It's fantastic.
Tivendale gets a touch back on Kerr. Just sends it along.
1 on 5.
Yeah, 5 to beat Schultz, and he can't beat them all. He tries to make Cox earn it.
I think if you're going to hold on to the ball as long as he did then before he kicked it, he really needed to just spot up another short target there, because there was too many players for West Coast allowed to get back, and too much time to get back.
Armstrong gives to Embley and then peels off to Shepherd. Gives Embley some more time. An enormous amount of time. Wirapunda, front spot. Good punch away by Jared Oakley-Nichols in his first game for the year will get a ball in.
And spot on, Liam. When you're held up 60 metres out and there's numbers back, you cannot go long. It's got to be try to spot someone up 45 metres out so you can have a long shot on goal.
Cox and Richardson doing the ruck work. Tivendale, free kick. And the crowd tells the story. The free goes Richmond's way. No, he played the wrong way.
They know, Liam. They're gone berserk.
That'll antagonise the crowd even more. Pointed the wrong way, gave them some hope, took it off them. Selwood to Cox. Chips to half forward. Daniel Chick, clean balled. Waters throws out the handle to Stengline to Rosa from 50. Bumped on the kick. Quinton Lynch comes hard. Got it.
That was a good mark under pressure, under a very high ball. He's a big man, and very, very tough for Darren Gasper to get a fist on that one, especially when he had a few yards to run at it.
That's a good give by Stengline. It really was. Didn't try to go too hard, basically just handed him the ball. Rose were able to throw it on his boot.
Shouldn't have any problems here. He has been a little wobbly in front of goal this year, kicking 4 goals, 8. It was accurate last year, 65-33. I think that figure is just an anomaly, the inaccuracy this year. And he has threaded it. First goal for Lynch.
That's a good one for Quinton Lynch. Had a reasonable game last week, just couldn't get the score on the board as far as goals were concerned. This is a good effort under a high ball, and to get that first one on the belt always helps with the next few shots on goals. He could be in for a big day if there's plenty of ball going inside 50 for West Coast Eagles.
Back to a 7-point margin. Quinton Lynch's first goal of the afternoon. He gets that glove back on.
Such an important matchup that Gasper does well on Lynch. Allows Bowden to float off.
Cox and Simmons in the ruck. Judd. Tivendale. Tied up. Extracted by Kerr. Umpires found a free. It'll go to Judd. Scored a little high. Dealt with a little illegally. No, it's a ball up. Judd's having a word to the umpire, and he doesn't argue often.
Well, he's got his signals all wrong, the umps, at the moment. They're pointing, they're actually getting their hands in the right direction.
That was umpire Wen.
They're teasing the crowd.
Didn't know when or where. From the ball up, Joel Bowden. Stengline, Embley, drop ball in.
Love the way he just burrows in, Judd. Look at that. Just really wanting the footy.
And for so long, he stays on his feet. So he grabs the ball and often can get clear.
And the ball in, Richardson doing the ruck work against Cox. Tambling, Johnson, Joel Bowden.
On the barrel.
Embley, bounced and stayed in. Waters, Embley. Richmond flooding back. Wide kick, beats the flood, Cox. Hanson in the goal square calling for it long. It's in his direction. He's going to have to jump from 5 deep. Got edged out of the contest, and he'll get the free. No, it's against Ashley Hanson.
Not happy for Ashley Hanson.
I saw it a little like he did, but the umpire was closer. Yeah, McGuan pushed him out.
Yeah.
Just a nice little nudge on the blind side of the umpire.
Well, probably the Tigers are entitled to get 1 or 2 at the moment. They've been a bit stiff so far with some of the frees.
Even a upper. At least wait until they're there.
Yeah, that was a shocking decision.
Rains. Held up at half-back. Pettifer's got a couple to beat here. Ball thumped down. Good punch by Stengline. Straight to Kerr. Brett Jones. Wirapunda. Can't get there to attempt the mark. Mike Cromit does to Lynch. Can load up from 50. He's got his sider already. Sends it through. Lynch has 2 for the quarter.
That was clean hands for Kerr again. I think he's fumbled for 3 years. I mean, just the ability to, in one hand, grab the ball and just flick the hands out to set up that goal. And Quinton Lynch, who's had a bit of the yips from outside 50, certainly got the journey and has had that for a long time. But just when your confidence is up, you've got one under the belt, just slotted that one through very nicely.
2 goals for the quarter for Quinton Lynch. Knows where they are here. Kicked 3 goals in the grand final victory last September. From the ball up, Tambling. Armstrong stole it. Cox to Prittis. They're threatening to take back the lead here, the Eagles. Wide ball. Front spot McWan. Hanson beats him for it. Jones. Prittis again. Centering ball. Getting back. Polak. Strong hands. Braun made him earn it. Simmons.
They've just held up Richmond's run. They were getting the ball and were able to play on in the first quarter, Richmond. This quarter, they're still chipping the ball around, but West Coast are now saying, all right, well, you can chip it around, but we're not going to allow you to run past us and carry the footy.
Oakley Nichols.
They've gone man on man pretty much all the way around the ground here, the Eagles.
Pokes it to Tambling. 4 goals in the opening term, none yet in this second quarter. Has been spending a fair bit of it on the ball. All the way back to Jared Oakley-Nicholas, the late inclusion with Andrew Cracker dropped at the last moment to Gasper. Now they've got the free men on the outer side. Joel Bowden, Newman. Lead comes from Pettifer. He led short, the kick went long, forced to go back, and Hearn. Nice grab. Chips it wide, Armstrong. West Coast Eagles have the momentum at the moment, just don't have the lead yet. Centering ball is terrible. Daniel Jackson picks it off. Needs to get it down to Richardson long and quick. Richardson's waiting for it. Gets the fly. Can't take the mark. Good body work by Brett Jones. Waters. Embley. Plays on. No one comes at him initially. Hunter. Still the run. Seaby. Over the top to Brett Jones, and now Braun. Hasn't seen a lot of it this afternoon so far. Bumped on the kick. Centering ball. Hanson with 4 to beat. He's pushed over. Play on. Wirrapunda around the body. They're back in front.
Beautiful reading of the ball. Wirrapunda, we touched early on in the game. He's got an enormous amount of ability around goals, whether it be back or forward. There's a big pack, mainly Richmond's players got up to the spoil. No one stayed down with Wirrapunda, and just that silky skills. You see here, 3 on 1 basically in the air.
That's a free kick.
Sorry, a free kick to West Coast Eagles anyway, but the hands of Wirrapunda, and in 2 steps, great snap.
Two goals to David Wirrapunda. Tigers led by 15 points at quarter time, and we said at quarter time you can beat the Eagles for a quarter of footy now and then, maybe even for a half, but it's tough to beat them in a whole game. Tivendale almost throws it out. Foley, Deledio, Johnson, Tivendale, brought down by Judd. Holding the ball. The West Coast Eagles getting a few their way now. Selwood, Armstrong. Spearing pass over the head of Hanson. Lynch made it his. From the 50, long launch across the face. Behind. 2 goals for the quarter so far. Quinton Lynch. Rowan Smith on the boundary.
Well, West Coast are doing brilliantly in this quarter. Is flooding in the midfield. They're allowing Richmond to have the ball on the defensive 50, and then they're just sweating on them, and when it's a turnover, they're just charging forward and they're getting goals.
About to tick into time on in the second term. Rains for the task here from 4 deep. Front spot, good mark, Polak.
He's been very good. He's just been fine in the position, and if he's in the marking contest, he's had very good hands in taking the mark.
Yes, allowed to play centre half back for the whole game today. He's been rucking a bit. Prittis, handball up. Rosa, Selwood.
Oh, no talk.
The handball inboard, sting line. Kane Johnson, 2 old Adelaide boys on opposite sides. And a wrap-up tackle by Hanson will get a ball up.
West Coast intensity at the player who's got the ball for Richmond has been much better, and they've been much more accountable through the midfield and across half-back. Just, you'd like to see Richmond try to break the lines, get that run back in the game that they had so good in the first quarter.
Simmons and Seaby tie up. Hearn. Rowan Jones, a wobbler. Wirrapunda takes it.
Got to go quick, the one-on-one.
Well, Polak's pushing back now. So if he doesn't make the distance...
To Hearn, who goes the long driving drop punt to the square. Polak.
That's exactly what happens.
Oakley Nichols. Tough half volley kick. Right in front of the Richmond fans, and Oakley Nichols and the Richmond fans calling for a free. Daniel Chick happy with that piece of work. From the ball in, Foley. Dumped by Stingline, Prittis.
Be really interested to see what happens at this next stoppage here. West Coast are very good at getting players behind the defensive side of the pack, and they'll handball backwards to try and create a bit of space.
Jones out of the air, got the kick away just in time. Hyde. Joel Bowden leads her out wide. Newman and King are both there for Richmond. King a little shepherd. Newman collects. Hands off to Hyde. Needs it to sit. Here's a goal kicker. Misses this time. Only a behind to Chris Hyde.
He needed that conversion. Good transition. Got the good run. They just needed to capitalise just to stop the West Coast drive.
3 last week, Chris Hyde, but that was an important one. And another miss. They've missed a few. Hanson. Plays on. Almost a smother from McGuan. High kick. Hunter forward. Couldn't mark it. Deledio crumbs. Joel Bowden. Danger zone here. Turned it over to Prittis.
Oh, yeah, loose play in the goal square, West Coast.
Hunter, all on his own, takes the mark and will kick from 15.
One side of the AFL, Lynchy, you can't turn it over against, is the West Coast Eagles. Unfortunately, I love the fact they're trying to create here, Richmond, but just a few skill errors now is allowing the West Coast to get back into this.
And Adam Hunter makes no mistake from 15 metres out.
You have those turnovers, and the reason why you find players by themselves in the forward 50 is because the defenders have run hard to support, and the turnovers to see the guy that hasn't probably chased as hard. And in this instance, Hunter was in the play previously, and he was still back there all by himself. And Joel Bowden paid the price for a rare miss of the target.
Recruited as a forward, Adam Hunter. He's played forward and back during his career. First goal for the afternoon for him. Ball up. In the shadows of half-time, Rains. Free kick, and it'll go the West Coast way again. Played 23 minutes second term. 5 to go. Stingline. Pokes it towards Lynch. Mark to Newman. Hyde forced to come from 4 deep. Chick takes the mark.
Hit was poor again. Nowhere near Hyde.
Prittis. Wobbler inside 50. McGuan.
Great mark.
You don't punch those, no matter where you are. That was a good mark. He's been good. That was a good lead, good catch.
The highlight of his short career so far, Luke McGuan. Game number 7. Richardson. And that might inspire Richmond for a late rally here. Rains to Foley. Inside 50. Tough ball. Hughes forced to punch. Jones, King the tackler. Selwood. Lynch on the move. Gaspar, good tackle. Out of play. We'll get a ball in. Good crowd in this afternoon. Plenty of West Coast supporters.
Oh, that's just a handball, I would have thought.
And the ball in short. Nearly hit Tivendale on the back of the head. Kerr, Prittis. West Coast Eagles with a better throng of players around the ball in the second term.
It's getting so dangerous now, the amount of ball they're winning from the stoppages here, West Coast.
Embley short. Yep. And Glass takes the mark.
Yeah, the reason Darren Glass is in the forward line, come back to it.
Have a rare shot at goal. Doesn't want to. Pokes it. McGuan almost the mark. Lays the tackle. And it's a behind. The reason why Glass was that far forward was
because Matthew Richardson is trying to play a loose man in defence, and West Coast have said, no, we're not having any of that. Glass can follow him.
Polak dished up the handball to Tivendale. Almost runs himself into trouble. Heads wide towards Cleve Hughes. Jones is with him. Hughes thumps it towards Schultz. Ball still alive. Handball off. Great tackle laid by Kerr. That's as good as it gets tackle-wise. Needs to be rewarded. Is rewarded.
That was a classic. Great tackle. Fantastic tackle. Just when your eyes light up and you think you've got a goal, Hyde was going to run into an open goal, but just had no chance there.
Staker towards Seaby. Nice mark. Millimetres from the turf.
They're just really running hard here, West Coast.
52 plays 40. They've come from 15 points down at quarter time, the West Coast, to be 12 up, approaching half time. Ball in the sun for Embley, still marked it. Chips it wide to Wirapunda. Fumble didn't matter. Lynch edged under the contest. Oakley Nichols the crumb, boundary line if he wants it. Keeps it alive. Not a lot to go to. Chips the kick. Well played King. Nice half volley to Tambling. No one to go too long, forced to go short, straight to Braun.
They didn't have a player inside forward 50 then, Richmond. They were all in the midfield.
Embley. Lead comes from Hunter. Out in front of him, gets the fly. Polak. Good spoil, McGuan.
They've got to run hard. They've got numbers out in this near wing.
Delidio. Scott Richardson. Kick will need to be good. Free kick against Richo to Staker.
Richo was just pretty well stationary. He needed to push at the ball carrier. Just gave Staker too much time to close the gap.
He's exhausted, Richo. He's running from one end of the ground to the other. It's hard to play that sort of footy, Richard. We couldn't get you out of the goal square.
Just a long, high bomb. McGuan goes for another fly. Nearly brought that one down as well. Jones flicked it out to Glass. Goal number 8 in 126 games of footy for Darren Glass.
Well, he got forward, as I said earlier, on the back of Richo trying to get behind the ball. Johnny Worsfold said, no, we're not having that. We're not leaving Richo down there. So you go with him to Darren Glass. Could have had a shot earlier and sort of got a bit confused, big Glassy, but this was a good, lovely handball. And that's where they're just being so good at the moment, West Coast. Their ability to win the ball and feed it out to a player in some space is just sensational.
First goal of the year for Darren Glass. Sensational player. All-Australian fullback last year. Second the best and fairest. Umpires don't appreciate him. 126 games and never got a Brownlow vote. It's hard to believe an All-Australian could not get one, but they're hard to get in this West Coast lineup. 37 seconds remaining to half-time. It's been all the West Coast in this term. Daniel Chick, a big round of applause to Judd. Staker, Rosa, Selwood, another big round of applause. Some of their players who've got some heat in the media. Brett Jones, and now Seaby. Big load of West Coast fans behind this goal. The West Coast are chipping around in front of at the moment. Just mopping up the remaining seconds, and they will go in 18-point leaders at half-time. After being 15 points down at quarter-time. And you can hear the boos from the Richmond fans. They're not happy with the free kick count. Matthew Richardson, who's played a lot of this first half on the ball, absolutely spent, forced to come to the bench. Chris Judd, the driving force for the West Coast Eagles yet again. 13 possessions in the first half for Chris Judd, so he's on track for another 29, his average this year, again this afternoon. Schultz has been inaccurate in front of goal for Richmond, otherwise they would have been closer. But it's game on here at the MCG. The West Coast lead at half-time, 8-10-58 to Richmond, 6-4-40.
Norman can turn you into a star movie maker. And it's so easy. Record direct to DVD with this intuitive Canon digital video camera. With powerful zoom, ultra-fast quick start and widescreen recording for $729. For a little more, get all the software you need to make DVD movies. Plus a 2.2 megapixel CCD for high-quality photos and video. While enthusiasts will love the exceptional 5 megapixel plus quality of the Canon TC51. Movie making was never this easy. Now at Harvey Norman.
G'day Australia, we've done something we wouldn't do for anyone else.
Because, you know, you Aussies, us Kiwis, it's like family.
So just for you, and only for a limited time,
We've turned all of New Zealand green and gold.
autumn in New Zealand is a wonderland. There's no better time to experience its beauty or excitement than next month. What's on in New Zealand this autumn? Whatever you want's on.
So get to newzealand.com and book your green and gold break right now.
Hey, what's up there? This is Nicky Hayden. I just won my first world championship and I was feeling pretty good until I got told this 600RR has won the last 5. Hey, what's up with that? I think Honda make the best bike, and the new 600RR is the best of the best. If you want to feel what it's like to be me, a world champion, better get yourself a 600RR, the one to ride. Heck, I might even go scoop me one up.
High-definition surround sound. Entertainment on the go. Multitasking business applications. And fastest ever data transfer. XDA Atom Light. The center of your world.
Sunday night from the English Championship, Derby continue their push for automatic promotion. 10 p.m. Sunday they head south for a tough game away at Crystal Palace. Oh, wonderful! Crystal Palace host Derby, live and exclusive, Fox Sports 3.
This May, Fuel TV delivers the show that gets summed up in one word. Beyond. Go beyond in Untracked, this May on Fuel TV.
Monday night, get on the couch with Gerard Healy, Mike Sheehan and Robert Walls as they look at the big stories in the week of AFL. Live from Melbourne, On the Couch, 8:30 Monday night, following the winners on Fox Sports 1.
Half-time at the MCG, and it's the West Coast Eagles, the reigning premier, by 18 points over Richmond after the Tigers got off to a great start in the first quarter, led by 15 points at quarter time. Richard Tambling the start with 4 first quarter goals, but the Eagles, through Lynch and Weirpanda, have been fantastic in that second quarter. Emily, Judd and Kerr, Alistair Lynch, all of a sudden at half-time the reigning premiers back in business.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the second quarter they got back up on top. They shut down the ability of Richmond to run out of defence. We see that the disposals there, 196 to 65, and that is real ascendancy came in the second quarter for the Eagles.
What about the free kicks there? 17 free kicks to West Coast, 6 to Richmond. The Tiger fans not all that happy with that.
No, they know exactly that it's that sort of ratio as well, so they're firing up in the grandstands, and I think there was a little bit of advice for the umpires as they left the field at half-time.
Well, I look at the Tiger side in the first quarter. They were just brilliant, and they got off to a flying start. Schultz had a couple of early shots at goals, Lynchy, but all of a sudden it was Richard Tambling that got them on the board.
It was amazing, actually. Tambling, just his silky skills. They didn't have a lot of inside 50s, even though Schultz did have a couple of missed shots, but their ability to convert their opportunities was exquisite. And look at Tamblyn, he just knew where the goals was, and you have to have a rare sort of ability to be able to do that.
Well, he is a very good talent. He hasn't. He's had a little bit, I suppose, maligned over the last couple of years, but that was a fantastic confidence booster for that young player, Tamblyn. But they had in the first quarter a really good setup. They had a great setup when you look at the likes of Schultz, as I say, a leading target. Tamblyn was there. They're getting plenty of run off half back, but all of a sudden in the second quarter things turned around with the West Coast.
Yeah, certainly. I think the West Coast really shut down the cross half back for the Richmond Football Club. Shut down Bowden, shut down Newman. McGlon was doing a good job on Hanson, and it just started to stagnate, and they couldn't run it out of defence and just couldn't find a clear target. So very much a different game, and Richmond are looking at changing things around at half time to free up some players.
You talk about the run from defence, and Bowden and the likes of Rains, they were just terrific in the first quarter. Polak, he's had a terrific first half. That's the best game of half of footy I've seen Graham Polak play. He's contested marks. He's taken 5 contested marks in the first half. He really is playing well.
Yeah, just his experience. He knows where to go and just knows where to get on the end of the ball, and his hands have been exquisite. They said last week's game was the best he's played for Richmond, and I think he's going to equalise that this week.
Bowden, Rains, Newman, all up around the 10 possessions in the first quarter. That was an area that the West Coast at quarter time have said, right, let's shut this down. Let's shut this down because they're getting too much run. They had 30 or so extra marks in the first quarter, but in the second quarter it was a bit of the West Coast of old.
Very much so. Just the weight of numbers, you knew things were going to turn around. The centre clearances especially, West Coast Eagles will just smash them. We see the silky skills of a guy like Kerr on that instance. Hasn't had a big influence on the game, but when he touches the ball, something happens.
Well, he does. Looking at the other player, Lynch is another player. You talked about it in the call, Lynch. He's a confidence player. He banged that one through from 50. All of a sudden, he got his confidence up as well, and it was a really strong target in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's been a good contest between Gasper and Lynch, but gets his confidence up. And as the West Coast, they get their confidence up, and we just see there. I mean, there's probably a free kick to West Coast Eagles anyway. I mean, you were onto that, but Richmond had a number of players in the air. Wirrapunta stayed down. Great snap on goal, and that's the way things rolling for the West Coast Eagles at the moment.
So what happens now in the second half? Can Richmond get back some run, or are they a chance to get blown out of the water here by a very powerful side?
Well, I think they've almost got to risk getting blown out of the water. They've got to find that run. Have to find that run, so get in some space, back yourself. If you're caught with the ball, so be it.
Plenty of work to do for the Tigers in the second half. After the break, Dwayne Russell talks to injured Tiger star Nathan Brent.
I've never seen a person come in here and say, you haven't got enough here. I've never heard that yet. It's always too much, or I've lost my husband, or I've lost my wife. That's how big the store is.
Universal door seal, $9.94. Patio heater, $149. Ozito silent shredder, $289. Energy saving globes, $9.98. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
I couldn't even put a number on that, the amount of products here.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Most would agree. Bigger returns from your investment portfolio require higher risk. To illustrate, if this was your investment, you'd expect to take a risk relative to your eventual return. However, using its investment banking expertise, Macquarie has created a range of innovative new investment products that, for the same level of risk, can deliver a bigger return. Talk to your financial advisor or ask Macquarie how to get bigger returns from your portfolio without added risk.
Macquarie. Forward thinking.
They're racing. Get this great ringtone. SMS go to 194888. Get this great ringtone. SMS go to 194888.
Get mobile active.
Introducing the miracle of fusion. A revolutionary technology and a unique idea come together to create new Gillette Fusion. Until now, pressure could cause irritation. Fusion has 5 blades placed closer together to reduce pressure with less irritation and more comfort. Flip Fusion over, a precision trimmer for those tricky places. The comfort of 5 blades, the precision of 1. Gillette's best shave ever. In manual or battery powered. New Gillette Fusion.
This weekend, Simon Hill and Robbie Slater bring you a huge weekend from the English Premier League. 9:30 Saturday night with just 3 points in it. The 2 top teams chase the title. Live from Goodison, Manchester United are still holding top spot and take on 5th place Everton. Plus, we'll keep you updated with live scores and halftime highlights from Chelsea's must-win home game against Bolton. Then at midnight, Bobby Zamora has kept West Ham's hopes of premiership survival alive again. It'll be tight and tense when they take on fellow relegation strugglers Wigan. 2 a.m. It's a full replay of Chelsea-Bolton. Then 1 a.m. Monday. Sanchez tries to put the sizzle back into Fulham. They head to the Emirates to take on neighbours Arsenal. Tuesday morning, Reading are at home and fighting for a UEFA Cup place. 5 a.m. they take on Newcastle. Saturday night, it's Everton Man U, Wigan West Ham and Chelsea host Bolton. Monday morning, Arsenal take on Fulham. Tuesday, it's Reading Newcastle, live on Fox Sports.
A1GP live from Brands Hatch, Sunday night at 11 on Fox Sports 1. The World Cup of Motorsport returns to London for the final race of the season. The home teams breathing down the Kiwis' neck and second spots at stake. At the most challenging track on tour, and there's sure to once again be some spectacular fireworks. A1GP live from Brands Hatch, Sunday night at 11 on Fox Sports 1.
Point lead to the West Coast Eagles over the Tigers at half-time here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. The first time the West Coast Eagles have been back here since they took home the Premiership Cup last September. 15-point lead to Richmond at quarter-time. They did look solid in the opening term. They would have loved to have had a couple of their injured players into their lineup today. One of those players is Nathan Brown, and he joins us on the boundary line. Welcome, Nathan. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Dwayne, yourself?
Yeah, I'm well, but that is the main question. How are you, and how many weeks away are you?
Yeah, I'm getting better. It's hard to put a figure on it at the moment. When I first got hurt, I thought it was only going to be a couple of weeks, but since then it's taken a bit longer. Started running this week for the first time. Did a run today and pulled up okay, so got to get probably 2 weeks worth of full training into my body to make sure there's no problems, but so hopefully 2-3 weeks, but I'm not really sure at the moment.
And it's because of that hot spot where the break is that the problem?
Yeah, it's about a centimetre below the original break, and did all the pre-season training, had no problems, and then 2 weeks before the season had a minor setback, and it's turned into a bit of a headache for me really, and it's been disappointing because I was up and running and things are going well, but hopefully I'll be back in a couple of weeks and then for years after that.
Are you worried you might not ever get back to your best again?
Yeah, you do get worried. You wonder whether you get back to your best and whether you can still cut it, but I haven't been out there for a long time, but my pre-season form was something very encouraging, and I was playing some good football, so I feel once I get over this and I get right, I'll be able to get back to my best. It's just actually getting out there that's a problem at the moment.
Because I know you're telling me you're still a couple of years away from 30, but it's just around the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I think I've got a good 4 or 5 years of AFL football left in me. I mean, I've got to be fresh. I haven't played for 2 years for the last little bit. I've been in and out, but I mean, I'm the sort of player who could probably play in the forward line until I'm 33, 34, 35, hopefully, and hopefully the coaches and the football department see it that way, because I want to have success with Richmond, and I think showing today in the first quarter and a half, I think we've got a lot of young players coming through, and we've got a good future. We've had a tough start to the year, but things are going to turn around, and I'm positive of that.
You mentioned tough start. Your good friend Terry Wallace, how's he holding up as coach of the club without a win?
Yeah, look, he's been under the pump a bit, Terry. Obviously, when you don't win games, they look at the coach, but more or less it's probably the players that need to have a look at the moment, because we've been in a winning position 4 games out of 4, and we haven't quite been able to nail it. I mean, if you get it up and up in a game, it's got to be a playing issue rather than a coaching issue, I think, and I think we'll keep working at it. The coaches and the players will work together. Hopefully we can become a better club for it.
And the players walked past you as they walked off at half-time. What was the feeling like?
Oh, the feeling was very good. I think they realised that they let it slip there for the last 15 minutes. But the first quarter and a half was really good. They were very positive walking into the rooms. Kane Johnson was encouraged him. He's a very good leader, Kane. He was getting around all the young players. So we do have a lot of youth out there today. Disappointing to be 3 goals down after our start, but I thought our pressure was very good early. In that second quarter, we were maybe a little bit second to the ball and gave away a few free kicks, but I'm expecting a really good effort in the second half.
Nathan, we can't wait to see you back out there.
Thank you.
Nathan Brown down on the boundary line. It's an 18-point lead to the West Coast Eagles at half-time here at the MCG. The bounce to start the second half straight after this.
you need to know anything about anything in this store or how to build anything from products in this store, there's always someone around that can help you out and give you exactly the advice you need.
Balatza ceramic floor tiles, $9.99 per square metre. 4-litre British wet area paint, $51.90. Zito mitre saw, $249. Heavy duty work light, $29.98. Gutter guard, $194.
The right price, the right advice, and the right product.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
You could do with some coaching. Check this out. We could be coached by Australia's best.
You and a friend could win the ultimate coaching experience with Nathan Brown, Mick Malthouse, Ewan McKenzie and Graham Arnold. Just purchase Powerade at your local supermarket to go in the draw. Plus, there's heaps of other great sports gear to be won. Powerade, fast and effective hydration to help your body get there.
With 245 kilowatts and all-wheel drive, the Ford Territory Turbo eats sports cars for breakfast. For more information, SMS Turbo to 13 Ford.
They're racing. Get this great ringtone. SMS go to 194-888. Get this great ringtone. SMS go to 194-888.
Get mobile active.
Find out who gets angry and who gets even on Fox Sports NRL Sunday. At 1:30, all the pre-game hype. Then live from 2, South Sydney and the Warriors. The top 4 tussle live from Telstra Stadium.
Look out! Here I come, baby!
And at 6, Parliament's lead footy from the Gold Coast. Hammer Titans slip past the Eels and enter the 8th. Bunnies Warriors live from 2, Titans Eels from 6. Sunday, it's for footy on Fox Sports.
Prepare to be entertained this May on Discovery Channel. They're back with bigger egos and attitudes.
Let's just start putting a freaking bike together.
Bond with the first family of motorcycles on an all-new season. American Chopper. Get on deck as the Mythbusters plunder every pirate parable and maritime myth. A 2-hour spectacular Mythbusters Pirate Special. Gear up for a dream ride to glimpse at the cars of the future and the incredible technologies that will make them all happen. Future Car. Fall prey to a predator's secret weapon as we open the gates to one of nature's deadliest arsenals, Tiger's Attack. Visit a once powerful Tibetan civilization that vanished without a trace, giving rise to myth and legend until now. Gugay, the Lost Kingdom of Tibet. Stay entertained this May on Discovery Channel.
Monday night on Fox Sports. Clinton Drivers presents an action-packed hour of highlights from the latest round of the AFL Premiership. The winners. 7:30 Monday nights on Fox Sports 1.
Half-time here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and the best team in the competition, the West Coast Eagles, after being 15 points down at quarter time, played in that second term like the best team in the competition. They're now up by 3 goals as they emerge from their rooms. Down on the boundary line, Rowan Smith.
Thanks, Dwayne. In this second half, Richmond have to get back to the way they played in the first quarter. Plenty of run, plenty of enthusiasm and plenty of risk. In that second quarter, they had no risk. They didn't want to charge forward or anything like that. They've got to get the ball in their forward line. Schultz is playing well. Richardson going into the ruck as well. They've just got to get back to playing positive footy.
Thanks, Rowan. Alistair Lynch and Liam Pickering before the bounce.
There's some key stats really to look at. I mean, you don't want to talk about statistics all the time, but Lynch and I were just having a look through it. Lynchy, handball receives. Now, that just tells you how much the team's prepared to run. West Coast 85, Richmond 42. Now, we know Richmond were terrific in the first quarter with their ability to chip and run, and they looked great, to be honest. They looked fantastic. But in that quarter, they were closed down by a very, very professional side. But West Coast have just gone into second gear with their running at the moment, and you would think the way the game's been panning out in the last couple of weeks, they'll get stronger in the second half.
And that's right. Richmond were very efficient inside 50, especially in that first quarter. The clanger count is a big discrepancy, and this is something that has to be addressed for Richmond to have any chance in the second half. 37, unfortunately, in favour of Richmond. So
37 clangers.
37 clangers, which is getting very high. I don't think it gets anywhere near 60 in a game, so they're pushing towards a record. Clangers for West Coast Eagles, 19. So a lot of pressure. West Coast Eagles putting on the ball carrier for Richmond, but at the same time, their skills aren't good enough to hit targets coming out of the back line.
We have been talking a lot about clearances and stoppages, and that's where the game's set up. When you've got Chris Judd and also Daniel Kerr, the leading two possession winners at centre clearances and stoppages in the competition, 11-2 in favour of West Coast out of the centre, so they really need to tighten up in there, the Tigers. And around the ground, 21-8, which is where they set up a lot of their drive, West Coast.
Daniel Kerr on screen, 13 possessions in the opening half. Chris Judd, 13 possessions in the opening half as well. And an 18-point lead to the West Coast to start the second half. Cox and Simmons in the ruck. Cox a fingernail to it. Johnson gives to Foley. High kick. Richardson waits under it. Got a hand to it. Glass, as he always does, just seemed to knock it away. Dumped. Waters. Selwood. Hanson on the lead. McGuan with him. Took one of the marks of the year in the first half. Hanson back onto it. Stengline. Armstrong. Wobbly kick. Bounce unkind for Simmons. Nice for Hunter. Good tackle wrapped up by Gasper. No free according to the umpire. Jones didn't appear to dispose of it legally. Foley. Now Simmons. Tough. It's all about the pass. It's a poke. Harry Hall stands solid. Embley. Stengline. Hanson's short. It's over his head. Wirapunda. Newman's fist wins out. Tries to attempt the mark. And we'll get a ball in.
Now at the other end of the ground, Matthew Richardson was frustrated with that pass into the forward 50. He was just stuck under the ball. Darren Glass did it very easily. Nudged him under, took a safe mark. Glass was sensational last week against Carlton. Held Favola to no goals. Favola did get one late, but Glass was already on ice at that stage.
We're pretty lucky at the moment. There's a lot of great fullbacks in the competition. You know, Glass, Ben Rutten's another one who's just in sensational form.
Validio wide, and Richardson takes the mark. Is that a good thing, having good fullbacks? We don't get enough goals kicked, do we?
I know that you're like the high flyers, but I think it's the likes of Favola. There's not that many good forwards, as you say. There's big name forwards anymore. But Matty Lloyd, Favola, a couple of handy types.
Edwards spins around, kicks it wide. Little chip kick, good from Polak, who's coming off a good first half in this game, finds Johnson. There's one of those forwards we talk about. Just pokes it toward full forward, off hands. Pettifer gets a kick on it, but it's across the face. It's a behind. Kids growing up don't want to be fullbacks. No one grows up wanting to be Darren Glass.
I read your article, Dwayne. But you still need them. They're pretty important.
They are. Selwood to Waters. Now Stengline. Crowd claiming a quarter bit of turf, but claims the mark. And Richardson in front of Jones takes the mark and will send Richmond back inside 50. They're still in this, the Tigers.
Big numbers back for West Coast Eagles. He's going to kick straight to Cox.
High bomb. Stengline, front of the pack, takes the mark.
It wasn't a very smart kick by Richo, really. I mean, if there's nothing on, we talked about it in the second quarter, you've just got to pick, you've got to wait, you might have to go back a bit, give a little bit of yardage to actually have an area to actually be able to attack. Oh, it's frustrating to watch that.
Hunter to Rosa. Good movement this. They've got an open forward line on the West Coast. Lynch calling for it back in the square. Now he leads short. Embley puts it in front of him. Can't collect it.
Just a hand on the back from Gaspar. Nothing much in it, but that's the rule that is enforced this year. If you place a hand on the back, even if it's not a big shove, the forward will be paid the free kick. Just not much in it, but that's what the rule says.
Yeah, I think it's just the consistency of the rule, isn't it, really?
That's what's frustrating all players, I think. But Quinton Lynch certainly has got the journey with his kick here. And after a couple of good conversions in the first half, you'd back him in from 50 metres.
2 goals in the second term up the other end. Starts at left. It doesn't come back a lot. Doesn't come back anywhere near enough. And Matthew Richardson marks on the line. And 50. Umpire deemed that Hansen wasn't in the marking contest.
Good to see Richardson going back and helping out in defence. They just need a couple of him, really. They need him to get in, run forward and mark his own kick.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think West Coast Eagles would be that disturbed to see Matthew Richardson 170 metres from goal.
Tuck kicks the pass to half-forward once again. Terrible kick.
We'll talk about that Clang account. Richmond's all-time high was in season 99 against Essendon, and that was 68. So they've got the 40 now, so they're heading towards an all-time high for the club.
I'll tell you what, I bet they're supported today, mate. I hope they don't get that record.
Embley made it tough for Kerr. Foley steals it. Tigers on the rebound. Simmons about to get caught, does get caught. Dumped by Armstrong. Play on to advantage. Selwood pops it wide. Richardson gets there. Takes the mark.
Great work rate. He's working very hard behind the ball. But as I said, they're not losing too much sleep in the coach's box of the West Coast Eagles.
Edwards.
Good play.
Run to the bounce court. Handball good. Simmons.
Who's his opponent going to mark this?
Foley inside 50. Tough one for Schultz. Beaten for it. Embley got the handball from Staker. Dropped it. Got it back again and is away.
And you got the numbers here. Couldn't give the handball.
It's wide towards Hunter. Can't get there to attempt to mark Gasper. Darren Gasper, a West Australian originally. Was #1 pick in the draft back in 93 when the Swans took him. Deledio, another #1 draft pick.
There's nothing to kick to.
Glass is sitting back 60 metres from the ball carrier.
Tuck. What about playing on quickly? Does. Hughes. Newman. Too far out to score.
Needs to get it in quickly. Or he needs to hit up another short target.
Now he's got to be patient. Got to find a short target.
Deledio goes for the torpedo. It's long. It's very long. It's there. That could bring them back.
And that was, he had to find a short target. He'll go for a barrel on the run. That was a fantastic kick. There was big crowd, big numbers back. Darren Glass was trying to push into the forward 50. But as we see here, looks, no numbers, nowhere to go. I'll tee one up and just flushed it. And that's a very handy goal for this stage of the quarter for Richmond.
First goal of the afternoon for Brett Deledio.
Sneaky peek at the scoreboard there.
Just have a look, how far did that go?
Well, I saw him actually in the warm-up with the pre-game kicking barrels. So he's not one that he's obviously practiced it a bit.
They're within reach, the Tigers. Foley caught by Stingline. We'll get another ball up.
And you don't mind guys backing themselves, whether it's carrying the ball or trying to hit one from downtown.
Well, used to be a saying that Malcolm Blight used to have. Try it. If you don't get it at first go, put it away.
Yep.
He got that first go, so he's probably told to have another go.
Judd. Strength and the clearance. Joel Bowden. Clark. Deledio again, having an influence now. Sends it wide. Richardson, can he get there to attempt this one? Glass. Richardson. Hunter. Richardson still. He's got 3 to beat. Almost beats them all. Hunter steals it back again. Critis. Sandover medalist. Won it last year, 5th the year before. Comes a good couple of seasons behind him. Embley, short to Lynch, and he fancies some chances.
Well, he didn't flush the last one real well, and they had to go short to him. He had to lead hard and wide because Polak and Bowden are loose men in defence for Richmond, just trying to clog up the West Coast Eagles as they just power into their forward 50. So Lynch is not where he'd ideally like to be, and a very tough position to kick a goal. I'd do 2 kicks from here to be any chance.
Stocks are rising. Quentin Lynch coming off the Premiership 65-goal season. And that's beautiful off the boot. That is magnificent. It brings a tear to your eye.
Well, it does if you're a Richmond supporter.
And if you're Darren Gasper, you think you've pushed him out wide to the boundary line, you've made him find a ball which is not in a great position. And if you've got the ability, and that's where the great full forwards You know, you can look at a bloke like Favola, Lynch, they can kick goals from way downtown, and that's a great ability to have. What a lethal weapon to have that sort of leg. That's easy gone, 60 metres.
Three goals, one for Quentin Lynch, not included in the grand final team that lost to the Sydney Swans here 2 years ago, but certainly was an influential factor in the win last year. Foley tries to get the takeaway. Prittis with him. And we'll get a ball up in the middle. Rowan Smith on the boundary.
Boys, in the first 9.5 minutes of this third quarter, Matty Richardson has ran himself into the ground. He's just moved down deep forward. You've seen him up back before, and he's absolutely stuffed.
So Hunter with the job. Foley. Handball finds Waters. Jones, Judd.
They're so good, Wayne.
The last man you want with it, Chris Judd. In front of Lynch. How good is that?
Well, it's their cleanness and their ability to actually extract handballs from difficult positions, whether it's contested, whether it's loose. They just know how to set each other up. And, Chris Judd in space, not much better than that. That's how you want it as a full forward leading out Alistair Lynch.
Oh, exactly. And that is the difference of the clearances. They're big up, they're way up on the clearances, but they're uncontested, basically. He's got space. Give Judd space. Give most of the guys in the competition that much space. They're going to hit the target.
For goal number 4 for Quentin Lynch from the 50. Misses to the near side. Behind.
He's an imposing forward, and you throw Hanson at centre-half forward. Any wonder they improved as a forward set-up last year, with Hanson really coming on as a player and Lynch becoming really important.
Tigers still within touch, halfway through this third term.
Well, they've flooded all their numbers out to this side of the ground, the members' side. So they should have the ball if they can get it to the ground. They should have the numbers here, Richmond.
Polak is having a good game, not paid the mark.
He's been good with his hands. Whether that was a paid mark or not, he got his hands on it.
Just the 11 games for Fremantle last year. Graham Polak allowed to settle at centre-half back, and that looked pretty much a mark. Not paid, but the umpires don't necessarily like him. They've never given him a Brownlow vote. Judd pokes it to Hanson.
Now, just to explain how important that kick was from Chris Judd, we're probably going to look at it in replay, but it looks fantastic when you spin out and you bang one and it goes like worm burner and it goes 50 metres. That is a perfect kick to a leading forward. Just waited so he could just run onto it. Gave every chance for Hanson to run onto the ball and take a mark out in front. I mean, it's just exactly the way you want the ball to get to the forward line.
A couple of Victorians back home combining. Chris Judd, of course, from Caulfield Grammar. And Ashley Hanson, or Ashy, as his mum calls him. Back for the weekend.
Ashy.
You'll be happy with that one to get out, right?
He'll be real happy.
Your mum's allowed to call you that if she likes.
Sure. Sure, Ashley will be all that happy when he sees the replay.
Got a bit of Barry Stone on him, hasn't he?
He does look like Big Fondue. He does.
Foley wide to the 2 number 5. Simmons and Singline will get a ball in.
And add to that forward line those two key position players. We're a Punda going up there. The defensive pressure of Chick. It's a lethal forward line, that's for sure.
And the ball in. Fine handball from Tivendale. Johnson just dropped it. Judd. See if he hits the target again. Spins it around in the Armstrong direction. Almost collected it. Rains. Wirapunda raked the ball free, but he collected it back again. Delidio.
And then there's good shepherd here. An overlap.
Edwards, Delidio. Newman ran on. Richardson short. Missed it. Did he have his arm slapped? Umpire said no. Selwood caught high. Selwood the free.
And they're not happy that Tigers supporters, they like you, Dwayne, thought it might have been a bit of an arm chop from Hunter. Well, that's a good mark, Armstrong.
Selwood's free was definitely there. Whether or not Richardson's was there, it's all over now. It doesn't matter. Armstrong, as you said, took good mark on the wing. Pokes it long. Hanson and Judd. Both fly. Rains.
There we go.
Judd. Caught by the leg. Prittis. Bouncing ball for Chick. Left it for Lynch. Still alive. Polak. Left it behind. Rosa. Tied up by McGuan. Umpire blindsided. We'll get a ball up.
Good spot to beat, young Rose.
And the ball up. Hennifer tries to crash his way through. Can't. Tivendale toward the wing. And Daniel Jackson content to see it out. Hunter was going to make him earn the knockout. And we'll get a ball in. He's been chasing Michael Braun all afternoon, Daniel Jackson.
Richardson up into the ruck and Simmons will push forward on Hunter.
Only the 5 possessions for Braun this afternoon. Judd. Perfect knockdown, but the perfect tackle from Tivendale is going nowhere. We'll get a ball up. Chris Judd's had 18 possessions.
Yeah, 8 of those contested, Dwayne.
One of the best players in AFL, VFL history, Chris Judd. Selwood, he's caught and gets a free.
How's that free kick count going?
Selwood chips it back, and Waters takes the mark. Rowan Smith on the boundary.
Adam Selwood's doing a good job on handling after he kicked four first quarter goals. He's just shut him out of the game totally now.
Hearn picks it up in the midfield, kicks toward Lynch, gets there, can't half volley it. Keeps it alive, some leg strength, half caught by the foot. Umpire says play on. Rose's kick smothered. Hearn's got it back again. Umpire pays ball.
Fantastic work from Richmond. Gasper in the contest not to get beaten with the pass coming low to Lynch, but then the tackle.
Kane Johnson's got a lot of space here.
Still in this, the Tigers. Joel Bowden. The lead comes wide. Richardson's there. Got it! And this is within his repertoire. It could go anywhere. The goal umpire could not move, and then again, he could do a hamstring.
Play on. This is the best way for him to kick one.
Loads up high to the square. Big pack flies, and the worst of all possible results really are behind.
He likes to avoid that set shot. I mean, he was almost taking pressure off himself to say, I'm playing on and it's going to be a snapshot. He's got to go back as an experienced player and have a direct shot on goal.
Well, as much as anything, because he works so hard, he needs to get his energy back by just having it, whether it's 5 or 6 seconds, just to really get the deep press in.
Waters to Seavey. Stengline. Waters.
Richmond looking plenty of numbers here.
Brett Jones. Hearn through the centre circle. Chicks moving wide. Collects. Runs away from Bowden. Heads towards a goal. It's a wobbler. Lynch! And he'll line up at goal number 4.
Good strong mark. Once again, similar to the first quarter. Or I think it was the second quarter. Just under a high ball. Chicks just bombed this one on his boots. Floated all over the place. There's good body pressure from Gasper, but Lynch took a big frame, protected the drop of the ball, and took a very good mark.
Well, his best ever is 8th against Brisbane, round 20 back in 2006. Lining up at number 4 for the afternoon here. Ultra strong.
Most supporters would rather him at 50, wouldn't they?
Yep.
That's where he's got to kick through it.
Goal umpire did some work. But he's got number 4.
Well, I didn't really have anything in the first quarter. Up forward, the West Coast team was just a couple of goals. It was really from running players. Lynch has stood up. Second quarter, got right into the match. He's kicked 2 in the second quarter, 2 in the third quarter. And you're right, Lynch. Darren Gasper actually just lost feel here. He just lost body pressure on Lynch. And he protected it well. It was a very good call. And not a bad finish for a distance, I would agree with you. It's probably not his favourite distance.
Tough task for Darren Gasper in the twilight of his career. In a couple of weeks, he'll become one of the top 20 Richmond game players of all time, Darren Gasper, but not having a good afternoon this afternoon. Class. One of the great fullbacks.
Don't they break hard, West Coast.
Stengline. Rosa. Braun's short. Strength of hands and body. Didn't go to ground. Jackson's got him. And he still goes. Jackson grabs his handball. Into trouble. Dumped. dispossessed, ball in.
And Daniel Chick has run from 40 metres there to put pressure on and laid the tackle. It's just his intensity. He just works hard off the ball, whether he's got the ball in his hand or he's got to chase someone and lay a tackle. He's just always working hard.
From the ball in, Richardson claims he was held by Seaby. Umpire said play on, Tivendale. Kerr's got him.
Don't get away from him.
Holding the ball. Daniel Kerr.
I'd love to know when he could bench press, Daniel Kerr, because he must be... He's that strong and no one gets away from him. Doesn't matter if it's Barry Hall or Greg Tivendale.
He was challenging Judd's Mantle as the best player in the competition. Long kick to full forward. Off hands, Jones. Almost gave it to Armstrong. Threw it away. Still in dispute. Rowan Jones. Judd still lurking. Umpire says holding the ball. Dragged it in. Free kick Richmond.
A lot of tackling is about desire as well. I mean, if you really want to tackle, and Daniel Kerr looks like he loves tackling as much as he loves getting a possession.
You've got to tackle with a preparedness to get hurt yourself.
Well, he doesn't have any. He's a kamikaze pilot.
That's right. Some players are worried not for anything else other than they might get hurt when they tackle. Stengline runs to 50, wobbles it to full forward. Newman gets back, takes the mark.
That's a very dangerous kick, regardless of the turnover there, but you kick it 30-plus metres into the corridor to a one-on-one contest, there's always a big chance.
Look at the chase from Daniel Chick.
Chick gets the hide. He got the kick away just in time. Shoots from 40 metres directly out, but he's been spraying them all over the place this afternoon.
Richmond really need this one. And that was under good pressure, that pass to find Schultz.
Look at
Great chase.
Look at this chase from Daniel Kerr. You talk about from Daniel Chick. Talk about effort and desire. That's exactly what Johnny Worsfold would just be wrapped with that.
And that's the thing. He's playing in the forward line. His role is not about kicking goals. His role is to keep the ball in the forward 50, put pressure on the ball carriers.
3 behinds for the afternoon so far. Make that 4. He's hit the post. From directly out, 35 metres away from the goal umpire.
Look, I haven't seen a lot of Schultz in his goal-kicking action, but he's stabbing at him at the moment. He's not sure of himself. He just wants to try to poke one through.
Prittis to Selwood, the player who's getting some boos because he's been in the news. Adam Selwood, the tribunal found him not guilty of any wrongdoing with that abuse of Des Headland, but AFL boss Andrew Demetrio said his abuse was out of line. And they didn't appeal the decision, which was strange of the AFL. If they're going to complain about it, appeal it. Edwards chips the kick. Cleve Hughes from 50 loads up, and he keeps them in with a chance. Cleve Hughes.
Have a look at this contested mark from Polak. He's been out 14 to West Coast Eagles 5, but that set up the goal. It was basically a turnover through a good effort in a pack. Balls moved forward quickly and great conversion. Another 1 or 2 of those, and it's going to put pressure on the Eagles again.
Two goals in game number 4 for Cleve Hughes, game number 1 for the year. He was picked 24 back in 2005. And Matthew Richardson having a rest. Important 3 minutes coming up. Kerr almost a takeaway. Stengline, Prittis, Foley diving in, keeps it in, holding the ball. Richmond fans not happy. Prittis heads wide. Dangerous ball, cut off by Deledio. Chance here for the Tigers. King from 60 out. Spearing pass, full forward. Cleve Hughes had it but lost it. Glass, Selwood out of trouble to Kerr with plenty of space. Can have a couple of bounces if he wants. Thinks about a third. Centering ball. Seaby, not the second grab. Hyde. Hearn's got him. And the umpire will sort this one out with the ball up.
Well, they're lifted here, the Tigers. A late goal here at Richmond would give going into three-quarter time in pretty good shape. I know they haven't been finishing their games off all that well, but at least with his crowd behind them, there'd be a chance to really have some spirit coming in that last quarter.
Simmons in the ruck, dumps it all the way to the centre circle. Embley, Selwood, Rowan Jones, Selwood. Waters under pressure from King. Selwood, King the tackler again. He's forced to turn over the youngster. Judd couldn't get a real handball away. Umpire said it was okay to Rowan Jones. Seaby, caught, dumped, dispossessed. King again, third possession this spring. Johnson to Raines, he's away. Open forward line, heads long. Schultz, one hand with the spoil, Hearn with the crumb. Wirrapunda. West Coast just too solid. Braun. And now Cox.
Good effort.
It's spoiled by Oakley Nichols. Height disadvantage. Bowden, Foley, Newman, and now Daniel Jackson. Lead comes short. That's ignored.
One-on-one here in the goal square if he gets it long enough.
It's long. Back of the pack. Edwards, can he get there quickly enough? Staker. Edwards. Staker. Had the friend Brett Jones. Selwood again for some more booze. Waters.
Gee, they're composed to West Coast. Under an enormous amount of pressure there. Just push numbers back.
Well, they are the premiers. Hearn, the measuring stick. Long kick. Daniel Jackson gets back. Hunter, off hands, open goal, and he's missed. Braun's put it through for a behind. Hasn't been his afternoon, Michael Braun. It's possession number 9.
With a bad miss. Because they've got a bit of spirit at the moment, the Tigers. You can see the way they're chasing and the pressure they're putting on West Coast. They really sniff a late goal here and they need one.
Long kick in. Polak, good attempt at a mark. Embley. Handball straight to Tambling. 34 seconds and counting. Maybe one last chance. Tambling with 4 goals to his name bounces the midfield. Kicks toward Hughes. Off hands, Hearn. Once again they have the numbers. Waters toward Cox. 19 seconds. Maybe a late West Coast chance.
Oh, Jones inside 50.
Numbers everywhere.
Embley. Lynch. Can't get there to attempt the mark. Jones down to Kerr. Umpire says it wasn't too high. And that might do us the 3/4 time. The Tigers, they came from about this margin down earlier this year against the other grand finalist from last September, Sydney. Just a few weeks ago, they hit the lead in the last quarter of that game. Can they do it again? I wouldn't be going too far just yet. Simmons has had a good afternoon in the ruck. He's beaten Cox, one of the best ruckmen in the competition. Matthew Richardson, a rest at the end of that third term to make sure he had plenty of beans for the last quarter. And Richard Tambling, who got it all started with 4 goals in the opening term. The Tigers at home, they're winless, but they're not done yet. 3/4 time here at the MCG. The West Coast, 10-13-73. Richmond, 8-7-55.
Get connected with Harvey Norman, the communication specialist. More speed, more places. Surfing the net just got easier with Big Pond. Get super fast wireless broadband access now with no phone lines, and it's simple enough to get connected within minutes. Harvey Norman's expertise with the technology makes it easy. Dive in. The surfing's great with a Big Pond wireless USB modem and wireless mobile cards available in-store now. More speed, more places. Go on, get connected with Big Pond and Harvey Norman now.
There's a thing in my pocket. It's the same as other things, but exactly like nothing else. It has an eye and an ear that shares what billions hear and see. It's not a living thing, but if you feed it, it will grow. It can rally the masses. It can silence the crowd. It can speak 1,000 words, but it has no voice. It can find you the places so you can get lost, and it can let others feel what you've just been touched by. There's a thing in my pocket, but it's not one thing, it's many.
145 kilowatts and all-wheel drive. The Ford Territory Turbo. Eat sports cars for breakfast. For more information, SMS Turbo to 13 Ford.
Get your original Aussie Rules club song on your mobile. SMS footy to 194 Get your footy team ringtone on your mobile. SMS footy to 194
Get mobile active.
The Cricket World Cup Final tonight at 11 live on Fox Sports 3. The all-conquering Aussies want a hat-trick of World Cups when they take on Sri Lanka in Barbados. Australia, Sri Lanka tonight at 11 live on Fox Sports 3.
Okay, cue the music. And cue the voiceover.
In a time where celebrities are a dime a dozen. In a land where anyone can get their mug on telly. We bring you only the best. Amanda and Jonesy, your new hosts on Nat Geo Presents.
Sensational stories about these pyramids and sensational stories about...
What about the perfect storm?
Damn, forget Amanda and Jonesy. Cut to the end.
Amanda and Jonesy, the Voices of Australia, coming May 2007.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form, and void darkness was upon the face of the deep. And God said, "Let there be light." Here we come! And there was light, and we saw the light. That it was good, that it was bloody good, and we called it Monday Night Football.
Quarter time here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. The West Coast 10-13, 73. The Tigers, they're looming 8-7, 55. And down on the boundary line is Rowan Smith with Peter Sumich.
Well, Peter, you've got to be proud of the boys the way they fought back after a slow start.
Yeah, look, they've been terrific, even in that quarter, but we're a little bit slow to start. We've just got to maintain possession a bit better and not turn it over.
And it's shaping up to be a good last quarter.
Yeah, look, Richmond come to play, which we expected, and look, it's going to be a great last quarter. Hopefully we can keep on top and get the 4 points.
Where do you think you can get on top of them in this last quarter?
Oh, of course, look, old cliche, but in the midfield, I reckon if we can really get on top in the first 15, I reckon we'll be fine.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
3 clearances, we talked about it at half-time, Richie. In that quarter, Richmond did lift in the centre square. 3-zip out of Richmond's way, centre square clearance, I should say, in that third quarter. I reckon the last 8 or 9 minutes of that quarter, Richmond started to get a little bit of belief. And they started to put some enormous pressure on West Coast, forced a few turnovers from players that wouldn't normally turn it over.
Exactly, and that's what they have to do. They have to look at the guys like Daniel Schick on the opposition, who are the best at it with the Sydney Swans, and that's why they play grand final day. It's the work you do when you haven't got the ball is going to really dictate how your game goes. Very important for them to hit this first contest flat out. Richmond need to get the first goal. They've been well down in a lot of the stats and all facets of the game. First goal will get them right back in this and give themselves a chance going into the last quarter.
18-point lead to the West Coast. They led by 18 at half-time. They were down by 15 at quarter time. The Tigers have meant business from the outset this afternoon. They gave that indication when they dropped Dean Polo before the game for having spots in his hair last week. It's all about the team. From the ball up. Tuck, threw it away. Tambling to Simmons from 52. This will mean a lot. It's offline. And Glass thumps it through for a behind. It would have been a handy start.
Would have been a handy start, but now they've got to sort of defend this kick in. Very easy to get out quickly if you've got plenty of space. There was plenty of space for West Coast on that occasion.
Rosa toward Cox. He gets one back on Simmons.
Been a good matchup, that. Both players have been solid.
Rosa. Lynch on the move. Tivendale drops into the hole.
And good protection from Gasper. Just blocked Lynch's run.
Bounces to half-back. Spears the pass. Pettifer.
This is better.
Foley. Half-tripped. Delidio about to get caught.
Yes, sir.
Took on Daniel Kerr and lost.
And guess who was next to him? Judd. They were just both chasing.
He should have handballed, really. He wasn't really facing goals when he hit the ball. He should have used the player running past him, but the video.
Braun to Hunter, to Hanson, to Lynch. Got it. 50 from goal, and he's already kicked 4.
Yeah, he had a player outside to his right. He looked at him and then decided he'd go for home himself. Didn't realise it, and this will be a massive turnaround.
It was probably even the handball before that. Deledio was running onto his left, just didn't need to go to him, I don't think.
It's good that they're sharing, because I think to get back into this game, they need to take some risks. They need to run through the corridor, which they did in the first quarter so well.
Brendan Lynch to put some doubt in the Richmond players' minds. Kicked 2 goals in the second, 2 goals in the third. Doesn't add to the tally. Big fly outside the goal square down to Wirrapunda. To his own advantage, gets the kick away. Polak manufactured a kick and almost found the boundary. Armstrong was lurking. Chips the sting line. Selwood. Back to the goal square. Hunter on his own.
It's a free jump. And in crowded forwards 50s, you just don't get those opportunities too much. And Adam Hunter has been a quality player down back that can push forward. Just shouldn't have been able to find that much space.
Well, there were plenty of numbers there. Just no one had an arm across Adam Hunter. I don't know whether Luke McQuan's his direct opponent on that occasion, but
Joel Bowden's on the mark.
Already kicked 1 goal to this end in the second term. He's got 2. And Richmond have got problems.
And he's going to make it very hard. We just saw the first centre clearance where Simmons had a shot on goal. That would have been a fantastic start. But this hurts. An uncontested mark in a crowded forward 50 is a cardinal sin. There's just no one close enough to get a punch on that.
That is poor play, isn't it? Poor defensive play by Richmond.
'79 plays 56. Good crowd in here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and the majority of them were pretty happy after the Tigers led by 15 points at quarter time. It's been all the West Coast since then. Palm down from Cox to Kerr. Tivendale takes the mark at half back. Foley. Simmons peels off. He's ignored. Foley runs himself into trouble. Tuck. And now Pettifer.
And good work from Pettifer. That was about his 5th lead, I think. He was frustrated that the ball didn't come in quicker, but kept working, didn't drop his head, and just found some space. In the end, it was a good pass.
It was, and that's the problem sometimes when a player's running down the ground bouncing it. You're right, he led 3 or 4 times at the very least, Kane Pettifer. Finally got used.
To keep the door open. This will come back beautifully. Still got a sniff.
Well, it's important that Richmond answered straight away after that Hunter goal, which was a disappointing effort in defence. We've mentioned that. But it was pretty good play in the finish. Tark, we know he's turned a couple over today, but that was a good option. He could have blazed away. The easy option would have been to bang it to the top of the goal square, which really is where West Coast had all their defenders. He actually waited, saw the extra lead from Kane Pettifer, and then that was a good kick. And it was a lovely goal too by Pettifer. Important goal.
First goal of the afternoon for Kane Pettifer. Possession number 9 for him. Cox in the ruck. Stengline got the kick away somehow to half forward. Armstrong half held and half had it. Judd left it behind. Rains tackled by Kerr. Tivendale. Poor handball. Selwood's got it 50 from goal to Cox. Heads to the goal square. Hunter flies. Can't mark this one. McGuan overran it. Tuck and Hanson. Embley had it. Tuck's got it. Johnson. Tuck again. They're tired at the moment. Polak. One of his best ever afternoons at the office. To Rains. To the midfield. King couldn't mark it. Daniel Jackson brought down, and we'll get a ball up.
He did really well, Jackson, then. He actually held the ball in. If it had spilled free, there were 3 West Coast players, which is just where they're at their very best when a ball spills free. So he did well just to hold it up there, not to cough the ball up.
Tuck takes it out of the air. King's at half forward. He's got a couple to beat here. He leaves it in the end, and Cleve Hughes couldn't collect it. Embley got it from Chick. Jones peels off. Rowan Jones has it. Embley again. Now Hunter inside 50 in a one-on-one. Joel Bowden had him by the option. Rains to Bowden. Foley. Bowden. McGuire. King leads long. It's in his direction. He gets there.
That's a good lead. He's run a long way there.
Jake King, 23-year-old, playing game number 2 only, to Tambling. Took those 4 goals in the opening term. Kane Johnson, the captain, with that broken knuckle in his hand, drops that one to Tambling, to Rains. Schultz flies, back of the pack. Pettifer, can he get a toe on it? Seaby rushes are behind.
Good play through the middle of the ground there by Tambling. Again, didn't blaze away. Just used the free target, which they've been doing all day. Just the second and third quarters, they've probably struggled to hit the targets more than they did in the first quarter, where it really worked.
Embley toward Hanson. McGuire, well played. Tivendale the crumb. Shortish pass. Oakley Nichols, strong hands. Still a chance here, the Tigers. Cleve Hughes. It's already kicked 2. Here's a long kick of the ball. Loads up. It's got some weight on it. It's got some weight. He's got 3, and here come the Tigers.
Yeah, that was a nice kick from Hughes off 2 steps. I thought it was the wrong choice because it was a 2-on-1 contest in the goal square, but he obviously knows his ability to kick a long ball, and off 2 steps just punted it through. So that was very good. A good answer again for Richmond. Just hanging in there, 10 points behind, and they've got some spring in their step, and some of their youngsters just starting to stand up. So an exciting finish to this game. In the West Coast, we have to choke down the Tigers in this centre bounce.
First game of the year for Cleve Hughes, game number 4 in total. Just his second year on the list after being recruited from Norwood. And he's got 3 goals, and the Tigers have some momentum. Deledio, handball grabbed by Selwood, went to ground, caught by King, wrapped up, holding the ball.
Great pressure.
He has been outstanding, King, in this last quarter. Not because he's got a lot of the ball, but just because of the exact same things that he just did then. Like his defensive pressure. Good effort by Oakley Nichols, great effort by King. And sometimes when you work hard the opposite way, like defensively, you just happen to get a few spill your way as well. And he's making his own luck at the moment, this young bloke.
Well, he's a mature age recruit from North Heidelberg in the Diamond Valley. He's 23 years of age. He was a builder's labourer last year, playing in the VFL. All of a sudden he's in the spotlight in game number 2, and he's never kicked a goal in his career. He still hasn't.
Well, they've got to continue to do that, though. Regardless of that result, Richmond need to continue to do that. The young players are showing the way at the moment.
That was handy. It was actually called back for out in the full, so should have time to match up the numbers. Darren Glass is called back to actually take the kick, so each Richmond player must find an opponent.
They're setting up a zone, pretty much a 3/4 ground press, if you like. Richardson up into the centre, just for this next kick.
Yeah, but the problem is they're 2-on-1 here, so it should be a handball over the top. They should be able to carry.
Selwood to Seaby. King chases it down.
Again by the young bloke.
Polak, Hughes, Oakley Nichols, the new players combining. Chip kick wide. Pettifer can't get there to mark. King the crumb. Pettifer from the pocket. Good centering kick. Tigers have the numbers. Simmons. Hands to it. Joel Bowden the crumb. He's got it. It's back to 4 points.
And it's one of those things that's hard to put on a stat sheet, but the intensity, the numbers at the tackle, certainly the tackle counter is right up at the moment for the Richmond team, but their passionate attack on the ball and the ball carrier is fantastic, causing turnovers. West Coast Eagles, very experienced team, they're starting to feel the pressure, turn the ball over themselves, and Joel Bowden just found some space, run forward, and a very nice snap, and this is very much a game.
Tigers are yet to win a game in 2007. The West Coast Eagles are yet to lose one. It's a 4-point margin. Kerr, Critis, and a high kick towards Hansen at half forward. Joel Bowden, who kicked the last goal, back in defence to knock that down. Johnson.
Had to be a free kick for there.
Rains, play onto advantage. Now Delidio. 79 plays 75.
Now, with the tackling pressure that they've had their enthusiasm's come back and actually starting to run with the ball and carry the ball as well.
Terrible kick, although Jones keeps it alive. Met with the bump by King, Hunter.
All the pressure.
Wirapunda, Pritis, Armstrong. They're not the premiers for nothing. Drawn under pressure, held it long enough. Richmond have been in winning positions in a number of their games this year. Haven't been able to win any of them. The Sydney game here a few weeks back, the big one they lost. Kick to half forward. Tambling.
Nice.
4 goals in the opening term. Richardson. It's over his head. Cleve Hughes, can he get back? Stengline does. Selwood. Hunter. Seaby. Low towards full forward. Rose is back there, can't attempt the mark. Polak, this is the best game of his career. And Braun takes the mark on the wing. Chips the kick towards Hansen. And wasn't paid the mark. He says he had it.
Plenty of pressure from Maguire. It looked like it just jarred out after the first take of Hansen, but you reckon by that reaction, he's fairly confident he took the mark.
From the ball up, Pritis. An important takeaway this. Armstrong wobbles it towards the goal square. Wirapunda ridden a little in the back by Newman. Umpire doesn't give the free away. Tackled by Gasper, good. Ball still in there. Johnson to Joel Bowden. Just tackle, spectacular. Not rewarded. Rosa on the rebound. Kicks toward goal. Misses.
You just didn't see Wirapunda in the goal square. But obviously a lot of players around, a lot of pressure on.
There's some tired players out there, McGuan cramping. And I don't think as a defender you can afford to have a tall defender cramping. I need to probably really get him off if he's going to cramp.
Rowan Smith, they're using the bench a bit.
Yes, they are. But I'm just saying the tackling intensity at ground level here is just unbelievable. Both sides are just willing to win this game.
Hyde runs around Wirapunda. Oakley Nichols has got a couple to beat. The boundary line is sanctuary. He knew it. He found it. Jared Oakley Nichols, a late inclusion. Andrew Cracker drop. Andrew Cracker's career on the line now. Jared Oakley Nichols, emergency in for game number 5. First game of the season, and he's been lively. From the ball in, Rowan Jones. The high bomb, Gasper and Lynch. Rains, been good again today. Hyde.
Needs to go long to Simmons in the goal square.
He's got a one-on-one, Simmons. Getting back, Brett Jones, can't mark it. Off hands, Richardson dives in, can't collect it. Cleve Hughes. Waters. Oakley Nichols. Kick smothered, Daniel Chick. Under pressure, backs it out of the area. Foley to reload.
He can go long here to Simmons again.
He goes to the pocket. Matthew Richardson can't get there to attempt the mark. Good spoil.
But given the free kick away. Matty Richardson called for the ball long, went to lead and doubled back and just found himself in the defensive position.
This is the problem though. I reckon they just get Matty Richardson conscious. That wasn't the right option then. They had plenty of other options in the corridor.
It's a 5-point game. Kerr to Stengline. They've played some close ones here, the West Coast, with the Shadows in the final term, taking over this beautiful arena. Got up last year against the Swans in the big one. Lost it the year before. Selwood finds Staker.
Both teams are playing numbers back. Delidio and Bowden for the Richmond team.
Selwood toward Wirapunda, handling. Rains. Lead comes from Schultz. Takes it.
Now he can't go long.
He'll go long to King.
He's too small.
Outnumbered. Very much outnumbered deep. He's got to find a short target.
That's a good option.
Jared Oakley-Nichols. Well, a big kick this for Jared Oakley-Nichols. He's never kicked a goal in AFL football.
Took an important point last year in the Dreamtime game. I think this needs a 6-pointer here. That was a good kick in the end by Schultz because no tall targets long. The only one long was young King, and he was to have two opponents to contend with.
Just need a big player on the goal line in case it drops short.
Doesn't go for the goal to give them the lead. Pokes it towards Schultz. Offhand, Selwood. Wirapunda, and now Rosa on the rebound.
Rowan Jones.
Rowan Jones all on his own, and he can run.
Goal.
Pass toward Hanson, marks it. Just as Richmond were lining up to take the lead, the West Coast can extend it to 11 points.
Once Jones had that sort of space, it's going to be hard to stop a leading forward. He may have even had a bit of a chance to break the 50 himself, but looked up. Hanson, very strong hands under a lot of pressure from McGuan as it's been all day.
Hanley about to come off as well for the Tigers.
Might be just a couple of minute blow and getting back on.
A little bit of blood.
Ashley Hanson's kick 1-1. The blood rule holds him up.
Rose has been important too for the West Coast in this last quarter.
The 21 touches Rosa for the game, being very good.
Possession number 9 coming up for Ashley Hanson. 18 minutes gone, final term, pressure kick. What pressure?
As a sign of a class side, weathered an enormous storm at the other end of the ground. And on the turnover, found Jones. Hanson, very good mark on the lead. And the ability to soak up the pressure and go back when really needed and slot the goal through. That's what a key position forward must do in these sort of situations.
Second goal for Ashley Hanson. And the Tigers are now 2 goals from the lead. Plenty of time. 7 minutes left. Cox with a good battle in the ruck with Simmons. Toes it towards Lynch at half forward. Judd. Handball good to Rowan Jones. Spears the pass to Wirapunda. And he can line up from 50. He's already got 2 in the bank. He wants number 3.
And Judd has pushed forward as a leading forward, probably having a little bit of a spell for a couple of minutes. He always has a bit of a handle in these drives forward, this time as a permanent forward. Wirapunda probably just on his limit.
It's got the weight on it. It's a long and accurate ball. He's got 3, and the West Coast can smell it.
What a wonderful kick. Late in the last quarter to be able to slot it from outside 50. The way Judd picks this up at pace is sensational. They like giving the ball backwards, West Coast. Anytime there's a position where there's got numbers around the ball, they always like to go away from their goals to the player that's looking at the goals. Good kick there, and Wirapunda, well, that's just a fantastic finish. And that's the class of the West Coast Eagles.
Three goals to David Wirapunda, and they're now 3 goals from the lead, the Tigers. Rowan Smith on the boundary.
Well, Chris Judd normally comes off for a rest from the midfield. He's gone forward, so the West Coast are a little bit worried about this game.
Cox to Kerr, copybook stuff, left it behind, ball in his pants almost, got the kick away to Prittis.
It's clever, he did a drop kick in the finish.
Lynch and Gasper. Free kick against Gasper, and it'll go to Lynch. Played 21 minutes final term. Quentin Lynch has 4.
Darren Gasper's puzzled by this free kick. Just a little right hand slap to the face. Not a lot in it, but if you go anywhere near your opponent's face, you're going to give a kick away. Once again, Quentin Lynch having a kick from way outside. The free kick count. And once the Richmond supporters in the crowd find out this, 28 to Richmond 12.
He won't be able to kick this. He's bleeding from the nose.
He's pretended he's not. He's the best man to have the ball.
Oh, this is the second best bloke to have it, isn't it?
He can thump it, Shannon Hurd.
Oh, can't he give it a roost? That kick last week against Carlton was a monster. It's funny how he just popped up next to Quentin. He knew he was bleeding. Bit of experience.
He's got an old head, Shannon Hurd, but he's only a very young player. He's as tough as nails.
What do you mean by that? It's an old head.
Well, he's always been a man. He's always played like a man as a junior. I don't know what I'm trying to say. He doesn't look old. I'm not saying that. He looks like an old-fashioned player.
Just 19 years of age, picked 13 back in 2005's draft. And he sets this up across the face. Richardson.
Another good mark for Richo as his 13th for the game.
Now 3 goals in 5 minutes. It's been done before, but maybe not against the reigning premier. By the bottom side, haven't got the confidence, haven't got a win yet. Bowden.
It's risk time now. You've just got to get through the corridor. They're doing the right thing here. They might make some mistakes, but they've got to at least try to win the game by taking some risks.
Newman. So Polak out wide. Heads towards Schultz. Good punch by Glass. Chick to Crumb. King steals it. Sends it long. Delidio's down there. Pettifer's down there. Ball punched to ground. Brett Jones. In game number 50. It's been as solid as ever. Sting line. For Daniel Kerr, who's been a star again. Cox. Was possession number 25 for Daniel Kerr. Embley, Hearn, Embley, Critis, Armstrong, Waters. And now Wirrapunda inside 50. Couldn't bring it down. Newman's fist was good. Gasper to Richardson. Got Bowden down the middle. Judd's coming at him.
Yeah, they got King clear at half forward if you can get it to him.
Schultz sees him. Gee, he made it tough. Made it impossible. Chick comes hard. King collects it. Got a free. It was half grabbed by Chick without it. Joel Bowden.
Cannot go long. Dean Cox is there.
We've got a match up Delidio on Kerr. Delidio's got to get on the move out of full forward.
Andrew Raines. Second and the best and fairest last year. Been very good again this afternoon. Possession number 24. And it's a wobbler of a talk. Hard to mark. Pettifer can't. Rosa dumps. Umpire allowed play to go on. Embley, Cox, Selwood, Brett Jones, Armstrong. And time the enemy now for the Tigers. Brett Jones, Hearn. Lead comes from Wirrapunda. Kicks way out in front. It's all about the bounce. Richardson gets back to make it a 2-on-1. Still playing with...
Deludio's got to work hard.
Playing with a belief at the moment, the Tigers. Bowden, Richardson, Hyde, Foley, the protection.
Should use Raines here. That's a good option.
Well, he might go all the way. Bounces to 50, sizes them up, drop punt, pretty good off the boot, misses. So they're behind or Glass. It's Glass.
They're out on their feet now, the Tigers. They've worked so hard and they've run optimistically forward of the ball now and just struggling to get back into defence.
Armstrong. Now Rowan Jones.
He won't want noble efforts, Terry Wallace, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of positives to take out of this game for the Tigers today.
Hanson.
That's a good mark. That's his third real good contested mark. Whether it be on the leader in the pack, he's got a size advantage over McGuan, but he's been quite effective, McGuan. But that is a classic mark.
There are some positives, though, for the Tigers today. I reckon the performance of some of the young players has been terrific. They might have found another forward in Hughes. Tamling showed some spark. I've liked McGuan's game, even though Hanson's played well in this last quarter. And I think Polak's been outstanding this afternoon.
Their intensity is the key. That's stood out for me.
Inside 2 minutes to full time. The reigning premiers, the undefeated West Coast Eagles, will win again this afternoon. Hansen has 3.
And a very good cake has been iced by some quality forwards when needed. Just went back and took the pressure upon themselves and slotted it through. And that's been Wiraponda and Hansen on 2 occasions. Under pressure, went back, slotted it and just put Richmond out of the contest. They have smashed Richmond in most facets of the game, but with the attack at the player and the ball and the chase and their passion, Richmond have found a way to be in it for most of the game.
3 goals to Ashley Hansen, and the chant of Eagles resounds around the MCG like it did grand final day last year. 98 plays 75. Kerr again. Maybe Brownlow votes again for him this afternoon. To Prittis. Hansen. Hands were strong, got his arm knocked. And he'll line up for number 4 to make it 3 in the last term alone.
And you don't blame McGuan in this instance. The 2 marks that Hansen's taken previously this quarter have been that hard. He's just got the arm over the right shoulder and made sure he wasn't going to take a clean one on that occasion.
Yeah, as a coach, I think the coaching staff could have a go at McGuan about that. You're spot on. It's when they lose feel or they lose their opponent in the contest by not concentrating, but he was right up his backside. It's about all he can do at that stage.
If you want to watch your team play football in its most beautiful and purest form, it is the West Coast. Hansen misses that. And they are sensational to watch at the moment, aren't they?
Well, they are. There's no doubt they're exciting. They've got players that are tough. They've got players that run. They've got a couple of key forwards in Lynch and Hansen who really straighten them up. Got a lot of faults in their side.
Wobbler from fullback. Daniel Jackson marks it. A minute from time. Matthew Richardson, who's been gallant, has played on the ball for much of the afternoon and not full forward. Goal this afternoon for him. Towards half forward to Simmons, who's fought well against Cox in the ruck. To Ledio. Cleve Hughes pokes it to full forward. Tambling, who started it all with 4 goals in the opening term, can't snare this one. Selwood.
He's been terrific, Selwood, this afternoon. He's had it 33 times. He went on to Tambling as well early in the match. Hearn had a crack at Tambling when he was on fire as well, but Selwood's nearly the best player on the ground.
Cox. Hembley, who was the best player on the ground in last year's grand final, the Norm Smith medalist, has been solid again this afternoon. Rosa didn't play in the grand final victory last year. He's searching to stay in the lineup for another 2 at it this year. Kerr, possession number 27 for him. Hembley, and now Brett Jones in game number 50 for him. Could well have been playing in the World Cup for Australia or even for England this evening. As a cricketer, played second 11 cricket in Western Australia, was invited to the academy and said, no, footy's what I want to play. He does have a British passport. His mum's from England, Brett Jones, but I think he'd be pretty happy that he chose this great game of ours. And what a great performance it is by the West Coast to get up from 15 points down at quarter time to remain unbeaten for 2007. It will always go to end up in tears. The top team against the bottom team. And unfortunately for Richmond, they are bottom tier, and the West Coast are the very best. Quentin Lynch, 4 goals for him. And the West Coast winning 14-15-99 to Richmond, 11-10-76. Let's go down to the boundary line. One of the stars of the show, as he always is, Chris Judd is with Rowan Smith.
Well, Chris, a bit of a tight one there, but you got over in the end.
Yeah, I thought they played really well. They came out and they ran really hard off half back and certainly gave us a really good game, so we were up with the win.
It was a little bit of a slow start.
It was a bit, but that happened at times. The main thing was that we worked hard and we stayed in and got the result in the end.
What about the 1%ers? They were really important today.
Yeah, I thought so. A couple of our tackling players, and Kerry laid a couple of brilliant tackles, and that was very important for us.
Well done, enjoy the win.
Thanks, Ron.
Chris Judd, 21 possessions for him this afternoon. He was tagged the whole day.